Hey man, is that Double D? Yeah man, well turn it up man.
Let's just go in and like kill all the orcs, right? They're the bad guys, who gives a shit? We just hack and slash and we loot their dead bodies, right? Hack and slash, kill them all, you know, conquer the infidels.
Boy, that campaign sounds like a barrel of fun, doesn't it?
Somebody who's opening a refrigerator and leaning in, right, is the language of a woman. Somebody who's opening the refrigerator and being cut off halfway through that lean is the voice of like a mermaid or a siren, right?
This is not the face of the hobby anymore. I think there's been mistakes made in years past where people assumed that D&D players were all, you know, white dudes in a basement. Which has been a faulty assumption for a lot of years and gets more and more false every day. And so it's, in my viewpoint, honestly, guys like me can't leave soon enough.
I just had to be born with empathy and a weakness for socialism and femboys.
You gotta put a little hot sauce on the taco, you know what I mean?
We want this dwarf to be the dwarfiest dwarf.
Right.
We want the elf to be the elfiest elf.
And just the dashiest dash of Tabasco.
The voices need to carry across water.
I'm a creative. It's a huge drain, right? Because fans can be awful.
I'll put the seed in your head when you listen to my videos, and no matter how much you want to disagree with me, when you leave my video, you will encounter what I'm saying. The seed will affect your mind. See, that's the problem with the seed when I'm putting it in your mind.
I am personally doing NoFap because right now I'm also doing semen retention.
You say white lives matter, they don't. White lives don't matter because white lives aren't a thing.
What's this?
What's this? It's the jacket.
The jacket.
The jacket.
Lutherville, Marina Del X, Otisburg. Otisburg? Who's this monster? She's got her own place. Otisburg? It's a little bitty place. Otisburg? Okay, I just wipe it off. That's all. It's a little town. Yep.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3.
Great sandwich.
Thank you. I enjoyed having you here. You're a very good co-host.
Man, your sinewy muscles are just ripped. And look how your gleaming sweat just comes off your golden body, and the women are just looking the same, and all of them want
Double D. Hello. How is everybody doing?
Oui. Hey, before we start, Israel wants to know, is this on Rumble tonight? He wants to give it a
should
try.
be.
Okay.
We should be on the Rumble. You heard right there. And guess what? I have been busy. I've been making art.
That's my jam. That's my jam.
How are you all doing? Good to see you here. Let's see, we already got a nice crowd already. Of course, we have Crazymouse here.
Hola.
We have a Rogan.
Bam. How's everybody doing?
And I am your humble host. We will be critiquing a lot of art tonight. So I decided to get into the part, as is my wont. First of all, how are you doing? How are you doing, Rogan?
I'm doing great. Actually, I feel very good.
Good.
I'm very good.
We're going to be leaning on you as the true artist amongst us to get your. I will tell you my opinion, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on the released artwork for the Player's Handbook cover.
Oi.
Yeah, think we already know what's going to happen there, but yes. And how are you doing, Crazymouse?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Israel just chimed in again. He's like, here we are. There is a delay. Should be about 10 seconds, right? That's just the same as it is on YouTube, kind of.
Yeah. Yep. If there's a cross-platform delay, I can't help that. That's a Rumble thing, but you can.
Welcome to all our Rumble guests.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
That is cool. That is really cool.
Yep. We're also going out on Twitter as well. Still haven't figured out how to get the chat. I got a feeling not many people chat on Twitter though, so people just probably kind of pull it up. So we'll just concentrate on Rumble.
You got Elon's personal number, right? Just give him a call. Hey,
yeah.
Fix this.
I wish. All right. We'll start out with something soft, but it's still art criticism. Did you know? I almost said Prince Charles. I every time I think of it, it's King Charles now. But King Charles had his first portrait done since he ascended to the throne. Have you seen it?
You know, I think I might have. I think I might have, but I thought it was a joke, so I'm not saying anything.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
That's that
is a official, like he was there like during the unveiling. Like he might have unveiled it. Chris Miller looks like Vigo the Carpathian.
Yeah.
Well, I came prepared. There's Vigo from Ghostbusters 2.
I think the Prince Charles one is even more ominous. Or King Charles.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's hard for you too.
Did he pose for that? Like, he sat there for a long time?
He must have.
Did Leo say to him, go over and sit on the couch as Kate Winslet was undressing him?
We will have to see on that. Somebody said it might be subversive, like the artist was real subversive, like the English crown has blood on their hands. It's hard to say.
It's foreshadowing.
It's definitely it definitely has a point of view. Wow.
Ooh, something's bad is going to happen to the monarch.
Looks like he's stewing in ground beef, says Uriah.
I saw that too.
Yeah. If I was the king, the artist would be in the Tower of London by now. No one of consequence. But they saw it. They could have seen where it's going. I mean, it's hard for me to believe they don't at least get like a preliminary. Artists will often do like a sketch, or even like a treatment. Like, hey, when it's done, this is how it's going to look, even with color. They can do that on a smaller scale. So he must have signed off on this to some extent. That is brutal. Yikes.
It is.
You know what is? Think about it from another point of view. What if he liked it, and everyone's just has to go along with it, and no one has the wherewithal to tell him the truth?
Yeah.
I guess I don't hate it. I don't care. But like, what if he's like, oh, I really like that, and everyone else is like, oh yeah, me too, Charles. That's a great one. And it just reminds me of this grocery store our family works at. They made just a hideous commercial of the owner of the whole thing, all 90 stores, eating pasta in a wheat field. And everyone, it was just a horrific commercial. And everyone was always telling him like, oh, it was great. And then after they pulled it, oh, that was just the worst commercial ever. Why didn't anybody say anything when he asked?
Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah.
Was it gluten-free?
It was their new super pasta made out of wheat. When wheat pasta became all the rage, maybe a dozen or 15 years ago.
Yeah, it takes guts to tell someone higher up this isn't going to work. You can. I think you don't have to tell them oh, this is the worst thing ever. You can just say look, with all due respect, this isn't going to work for these reasons. You know, it sucks.
You know, if you become that high up, you know, the king, maybe you should have one trusted confidant that says, just tell me the truth. Be the person that tells me I have spinach in my teeth rather than be like,
yeah,
your smile's perfect today, king.
Looks great, boss. Looks great. Look, Camilla should have done that, right? Somebody said, like, yeah, it was done in Princess Diana's blood.
Oh, that's awful.
That's not,
Ouch. Ouch.
Oh,
I don't like that one. That's not a good one.
I was thinking the same thing, though.
Yeah, yikes. Yeah, when you read about their relationship, yeah, that was not a happy marriage. Not in the least. Yeah, looking at some of these those oil protesters are going to throw soup on it. Might be an improvement, Black Barnes.
Yeah.
In this case, yeah, that actually might be an improvement.
Yeah, so let's throw some cream and mushroom on there. Let's brighten up the color a little bit.
Yep. All right. We are getting close to what I always. Whenever I see 70, I'm like, okay, I think we can. I think we can go.
Bleeker, I think you're right.
Oh, what did Bleeker say? Is that the Han Solo frozen in carbonite? Yeah.
Charles, frozen in carbonite.
All right.
The generic carbonite, not the top shelf stuff.
Yeah. All right. I think we know why most people are here tonight. That was your little appetizer. Your little amuse-bouche. Amuse-bouche.
The bloomin' onion.
That was the bloomin' onion, yeah. Wash it down with some cheap beer.
Not enough ranch.
Yep. Oh, and here comes the main course. Yes. So, actually, first of all, I'm going to take this off because we're going to talk about the article that spawned this. Game Informer. The art of the new Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, Game Informer got their hands on some of the new artwork for D&D. D&D has a big year ahead of it, celebrating 50th anniversary. And they're going to release the Player's Handbook, DM's Guide, and Monster Manual. Backward compatible, as we all know. So the books are not far off. Players and DMs alike can watch for pre-orders starting on June 18th. Each book is set to be priced at $49.99. Each of the 3 new books comes in at a hefty 384 pages apiece.
Is that a coincidence, or did they say?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I'm glad you caught that because
I could see maybe like the first one being 384, and the second one being like close, and they're like, "Wow, we're really close on 384 on that one." Add a couple more artwork.
Yeah, or a couple of blank pages, which sometimes they'll do.
You got one there, Double D.
Oh, yep. Chris Miller.
Nothing pops up on it when you click it.
Yeah, it's probably fine
because you're on top of it. Yeah.
Yep. He is Charles. You are the buzzing of butterflies to him. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Remember
Chris.
when he shooed away that person bringing him the pen?
Yes.
That's what that butterfly's doing.
Yep. It's got to be just a different existence, living that life, since birth. You really do probably just see things completely differently. But I guess that's his problem. He can't walk outside, without an escort. He can never walk out in public. So in some ways, to me, that's, I don't know, man.
Could be your own prison.
Yeah, it is. They always say it's like a gilded cage. It might be gold. You might be living in gold, but it's still a cage.
But the food is a whole lot better.
Yeah. Yep. So back to Game Informer. They visited Game Informer magazine, visited Wizards of the Coast. And I guess they're using Game Informer to essentially do some some planned leaks, I would call it, of the artwork this is to whet people's appetites, get people pumped up. And I don't think it quite worked. I mean, look, the Wizards of the Coast, kind of robots, of course they would like anything. I'm going to show you why I don't like this cover art. And I'm not just saying it because I think there's 4 women on it and 1 man. And the 1 man is a dwarf. There's so many other issues. But anyway, you can go through here.
You got another one, Double D.
Yep. Oh, thank you very much, Crazymouse. Thanks for telling us, says Charles Anderson, for $5, the price of the new D&D books. It's nice to know how much money I'll be saving. Yeah, you and I both. Although I'm sure I can get some volunteers to, let me borrow a PDF of theirs. I will give it back, of course.
I don't know if our group chat will recognize this reference, but these are $49.99 a piece, correct? Is that what it said?
Was it 40? I thought it was higher. You might be right. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. $49.99. Yep.
Well, the reference would be I just saved myself $150. Yeah. That's the guy that cleans your Air Force Ones, brings them back, and he restores them.
$150.
$150.
Yes, indeedy. Thank you, by the way, Charles and Chris. By the way, quick show note: I will be on Inappropriate Characters this coming Sunday. Ryan asked. And like King Theoden, I answered the call. Rohan has answered. So join Inappropriate Characters. If you haven't already followed him on Rumble, do so. Hey, Patty. Patty checking in on Rumble. How you doing, Patty? Patty has a couple of things out. Patty, where can they get your stuff? Is it on drive-thru? I know Mutant came out. And then the one you just sent me. So let folks know in the chat where they can grab your new books. If Cal is here, you can put the link in there. I don't care.
I haven't seen Cal yet.
Yeah, maybe he usually shows up. He might be just a little late. Yeah. So they kind of go through here. Now, what a lot of people, I was actually kind of surprised. You know what? I'm just going to... I was actually kind of surprised because I think some people who I would normally, I think have the same view of Wizards of the Coast as we do, are kind of like, there's nothing wrong with that cover art. I think there's a lot wrong with this.
Can you blow it up so we can?
Yeah. I'm actually gonna go on my tablet here. Okay. As well. All right. So first of all, I'm gonna remove the shades for this. So this is not very good, in my opinion.
Patty just put the link in there.
Oh. Cool. Yep. Oh yeah. It's at Red Room at Mordnet. Yes. Check out his stuff. Check out all the Red Room stuff. Thank you, Patty. I did start going through it. I like what I see. I actually kind of like what I see there from both of those things. So do check it out. First of all, let me tell you what I do like in this. Whoops. All right. I like this. I like the head of this dragon. It's you can see the distant view there. I think the dragon itself is good. The dragon head. Only the dragon head. So this guy knows who did the art. I didn't even grab his name.
You got another one.
Yep. Oh, thank you, buddy. Uriah. $5. Close enough. $4.99. I don't immediately hate the new art. It vaguely reminds me of the Rules Cyclopedia art in a subconscious way. I think they were kind of going for that. Doesn't even get close to the real one, though. Yeah, absolutely. Uriah. Thank you again. Yeah, it does sort of have that. In fact, I should pull that off the shelf so people can see. So the things I like the dragon head. And the artist is talented.
Tyler Jacobson, is that who it would be?
Yeah.
John Osborne.
Yeah, Tyler supposedly did the art. Okay, thank you, John. Yeah. That sounds familiar. I don't know too much. I think he might have done some 5e art. And look, he can do form for the most part. There's some jacked up stuff in here. Some really jacked up stuff, in my opinion.
If you cut it off at like the middle of his nose, it looks like a lion.
Yeah, it does have that kind of long, like lion's snout almost. I agree with that. If we can get some, yeah, that might just put a glare on it.
Shadow and Sun just said that too.
Yep.
With the rest of its body, it honestly reminds me of Dragon Ball Z. The dragon, how the
yeah. All right, so
how the neck just loops and continues like an Asian type dragon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Chris Miller, $10. Thank you, Chris. I just dislike this style of modern art. Too cartoonish, too much forced diversity, and artists now don't seem to understand how accoutrements function. Yes. Yep. Agreed, my friend. Agreed. So I told you what I like. The guy can do figures, even though the anatomy is a little jacked. I don't like the kind of figures he's doing because I think he was told to do a certain type of figures. And that dragon is nice, the head of it at least.
Cranky Smurf says it's a gold dragon based on Chinese dragons, which have a long snake-like body.
Yeah, which I understand. Is that like Bahamut? Is Bahamut? That was like the good, like the foe to Tiamat, right?
That might be right.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
From the Monsters and Manual.
Right? Yeah. Again, which is fine, but as much as I like that head, all right. So first of all, this hand here, that is the dragon's hand.
It looks like he's pointing right at him.
Okay, but like if you follow this body, it makes no sense. Like that's the direction the body goes. Like it like meanders around. So is this like all just like a big blob here of a body, and then this arm is like coming forward? Do you know how long that arm would have to be based on the way that dragon is facing? Because his body is facing this way. That is obviously his left hand. So that's his far hand. That's not even his right hand. It makes no sense whatsoever. Rogan, am I wrong here?
No, not at all. No. Like I said, looking at the head, the focal point of the dragon. Here's that subject right here, following its line, following what I try to perceive is how its body is flowing. Hugely long neck, but the hand is disembodied.
Yeah, it disembodied or like Plastic Man.
Yeah,
like that thing has got to be like ridiculously long. Patrick Demo, $5. At the very least, we know that all the characters are women, rather than have it revealed to us 40 years later. Well, not all of them. At least 3, and I think 4. They will say. So 4 out of the 5 are women. Yeah, they know their audience, I guess. All right, so that hand of the dragon is jacked. That's one of the first things I noticed. Where is that hand coming from? Now, look, I'm scrutinizing this. I understand. But based on the anatomy of this dragon, as you see it, it makes no sense where that hand is coming from. It's not the first thing that's jacked, though. All right. In addition to that, the composition and story here are terrible. I mean, contrast this. That tells a story.
Yes.
That is, either the remnants or the, complete adventuring party. They have the treasure between them. It's using Bigby's hand. LOL, yeah, Zetro, yeah, good one. Thank you very much, $2. This tells a story. They went down those steps. They found the treasure. They were in the middle of opening it, and this thing came out of the water. And now they're effed. Tells a story, does it not?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. You want to grab?
I'm grabbing it right
grab
now.
that. Thank you, buddy. Charles Anderson, very blue-blooded name. $5. Thank you very much. They failed to consider the first question of good fantasy art. Does this look like it would go on a 70s or 80s metal album cover? Yes.
Hell yes.
Yes. Dwarf women have beards, 5 women. Yeah, don't think I hadn't already thought of that, Rich S. Thank you very much. All right, but you can tell. This tells a story. The follow-up, as we know, from last week, we dug into Larry Elmore. If he had gone with this this image instead of the one he ultimately did, this tells a story. They're in the freaking dragon's treasure mound. Obviously, they're there to get fortune. He's got gold in his hand. And that dude is just springing out to attack the dragon. Obviously, the dragon has surprised them. Now, this one, it's a little less clear, but you can infer, what's going on here. Look at, and it's a very simple but complete story. It's man versus nature. That's a dude killing a dragon to get that treasure. So I ask you, what is the story here? Now, you might think, when I first saw this, how dumb I am. I thought this bad boy here was the villain. And I'm like, holy shit, look at this dragon looming over him like any good villain would in a piece of art, right?
Right.
Why are they facing away from him, though? And then I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize here. Great placement. Your main villain is here. In shadow, below the level of these characters.
And you poisoned it by putting, the words on there.
Yeah. They should have planned that out better, because obviously they do need to tag it as the player's handbook, I understand. But there was no planning for that. Those words are going straight across the main threat here. So let's talk about this. Obviously, it's a dragon, okay? And if it was just these guys facing that dragon, they'd probably be screwed, or they'd be in for the fight of their lives. This guy looks like he could eat this guy. Look at how big this is. He's in the background. This red dragon here is coming up right on him. Okay, so I understand he's big, but good Lord, you have like a dragon that could circle the world, it looks like. At what point do these...
Which does exist
in
that universe.
Yeah, exactly. This is a colossal ancient dragon against what, a young adult red? At what point are these guys, these ladies, this adventuring party, at what point does this dragon just say, you know what, you guys are just going to get in the way. Could you just let me handle things here?
Right.
Because he's obviously supposed to be allied with them. I think that's what you're supposed to infer.
You can't really tell. I mean, that's an assumption, because it really isn't telling a story.
No.
It's
not a good story.
No, not at all.
You can kind of muddle through it and like, oh, okay, I think I see what's happening here. The gold dragon is on their side, and they're going to team up and fight this red dragon.
How about that guy on the side?
Right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. That must be another bad guy.
He looks like that guy, Jabba the Hutt's friend, that giggles.
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
It's like Salacious Crumb on steroids. That's a good call. I think those are Dragonborn from what I can see.
But according to 5e, the Dragonborn were good guys. Everyone played them.
Yeah, can you help us out, Chad? It's I'm not familiar. Maybe there's something else. I don't know. Obviously, they're meant to be villains because they're
Right.
encroaching on the territory. Okay. But
Bleecker says they're kobolds.
Oh, those are kobolds? Yikes.
40 to 400.
I thought kobolds were like 4'5". Yeesh. Boy, they've been working out.
What does that sticker say on your side view mirror? It's closer than they appear.
Yeah, it's an optical illusion, I guess. All right. So you sort of muddle your way through the story here. But this does not appear to be that big of a threat, this dragon. Because this guy looks like he could eat this guy. When you look at this as a whole, whoops. This is where your eye is drawn to, right?
Yeah.
You look at that, the first thing you see, your eyes immediately go to that dragon because that's where it's placed. That very purposefully, I think, that gold dragon is meant to draw your eye there first. You are not, this is the player's handbook. You are not supposed to see yourself in this dragon. You are supposed to see yourself in these people. You're supposed to see your character in there. Instead, this is the guy you hired to kill everything. Well, okay, so what are you doing? Half of these guys aren't even fighting this dragon. The party is not the focal point, and it should be. Like I said, these guys would be a liability. This dragon is probably like, please get out of the way.
You're not.
Is there is the Dungeon Master's Guide like a part 2 to this? Or
well, it'd be a separate book.
Or how about the back art? Is there like art on the back?
Yeah, I think there is. I think they might have released that in that article. It's not much better from what I can see.
Does it tell more of this story or no?
I don't think so. Let me check real quick because that is a fair point. I think this is on the back, maybe. Oh yeah. All right, so hold on here. I think you guys can see that now. I think
they're riding the dragon.
Yeah,
they won.
Well, that's a different crew.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a different crew. Yeah, because there's a black.
There's no red-haired
Yeah.
girl in there.
Yeah. The back cover of the player's handbook. Yeah, so that's a great point, Crazymouse.
Somebody else came in and swooped all the treasure.
I guess. See, to me, that just raises more questions.
So maybe the women went in and got slaughtered. The men came in later and rode the dragon with all the treasure.
Yeah,
left.
Cleaned up. Thanks for cleaning the kitchen, ladies.
There's your equal rights for you.
All right, so back here we have our only confirmed male is this dwarf fighting. I get kobolds. I guess. Wow, those kobolds look menacing. So he's, I guess, on point because these are an immediate threat to him. These two have eyes on the dragon. This sorceress chick and Ginger here, they're like pointed this way. At what?
Yes.
Oh, so there's something worse than the red dragon coming at them, and you chose not to show it? Why isn't all of their attention, other than maybe the dwarf is handling, rear guard, why isn't all of their attention on this dragon?
What if it's Tiamat?
If it was Tiamat, they'd have purposely
Yeah.
shown a different head. Even if they didn't show all 5, they probably would have shown at least 2.
Yeah.
I think it's just an adult red dragon. Looks to me like an adult red dragon.
Last week there was a discussion about the male warrior and the dragon and how they made the miniature a female. But they also spoke with the artist, and what he explained what Gary Gygax asked him to do, told him what he wanted, and he turned around and he changed the composition of it. All right?
Mm-hmm.
This was a perfect example right here where whoever's responsible looking at the art saying, hey, listen, I get what you're doing, but we need to change this around. So the story needs, we need to be able to see the villain a little bit more so we understand that is a danger.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, honestly, in something like this, the danger should be more prevalent because, Dungeons and Dragons, you're going against an obstacle that's stronger, more of than what you are.
Yeah, instead of reduced, like on an artistic level, it's below their feet.
Yes.
And now covered over with words, too.
Yeah.
By the player's handbook wording. And obviously ignore the Game Informer if you can see that. But it's like minimize this threat.
Yes.
So it's like, what do they even... And even if it was a threat, they got Big Brother over their shoulder. Rich S, $2. Pictures worth 1,000 DEI initiatives. Yep. I think this was art by committee. That's why I'm not prepared to demonize the artist. I think the artist can certainly do work. He either compromised himself or just doesn't understand composition or telling a story with a piece of art, I think.
I would like to think that the piece of art is actually a lot bigger than what they're showing. I think that whoever the editor is zeroed it down to this because, apparently, the editors in these new books, most of the people involved in these new books don't know what they're doing. But I have to think, okay, whoever created this art, obviously has talent and understands composition. So my assumption is this has got to be a much larger piece of work that they had to zero down into.
Yep. Yeah, I agree 100%. And exactly, Larenjaco, the adventures are not the focus. They should always be the focus. It's a player's handbook. It's not the monster manual. You need to identify with these people instead. They're a very small player in this act. Now remember too, you may think like, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. They ran this by DEI people. Well, I mean, after the Hidozi thing, Wizards of the Coast themselves said every piece of art is going to be run by these cultural consultants. Obviously, they had a say in this. That's why 2 of these women are black. And there's 2 more women. This is not your typical adventuring party. I mean, I understand there's more women playing now. We'll get to that in a moment. That's actually my last point. First of all, Jeff Hatch, good to see you here. Jeff, $5. Speaking of dwarves, why doesn't WotC lean more into female dwarves? I mean, female dwarves make great SJWs. That's right. They have beards and all, do they not? That's what Mrs. D said. I know I'm on the right track, as I was telling these guys, because I showed Mrs. D, and sometimes she likes to be a little contrarian with me, because she thinks I always need a little bit of humbling. How dare she? But even she was like, oh yeah, everything I was telling her she agreed with, and then she even found like a few more things. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going crazy here. But I still can't believe it. There's people on Twitter like, oh, this art ain't so bad. After everything Wizards of the Coast has done over the last couple years, why would you give them the benefit of the doubt? And you can objectively say this is shit art. This is a shit piece of art for a player's handbook, for a flagship product. The player's handbook is always the flagship product.
Right.
This might be fine on like a expansion, a secondary product, an adventure. You can overlook some of these flaws. This thing is going to get scrutinized, especially given the history of player's handbook art. I'm sorry, this just didn't measure up. All right, so I think I was telling you, these guys are facing the dragon. But Ginger and the sorcerer here, like I said, are off camera. What? What are you looking at? This anatomy here is jacked. So you only notice it when you start to try to do this. Mrs. D was trying to do it. She's like, yeah, if you try to do this pose, you will have a very hurt left arm. That blade in that pose should be flatter and laying a little bit backwards towards Ginger there. Not only that, I'm less inclined with unless it's like all the other stuff. I'm less inclined to be this picky, but that sword does not follow a straight line. Somebody on Twitter drew a straight line. It's like kind of flopping a little bit to the left. Rogan confirmed for me.
I saw it right away when I was really looking at it. I'm like, whoa.
An artist can probably tell. It took me a little bit longer because I only dabble a little bit. But yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm like, there's no way though those hands and with that arm position, and that sword is gonna be in that current position. No way.
And an illustration that's going to be on all these books that are so important. This is so important for the new product to come out. The devil is in the details. You can look at art and have certain art will give you all kinds of perspective, let you create your own. But this isn't the case right here. This is like, okay, this is our flagship. Boom. That if you're not going to do right by the details, listen, you don't have to like paint every square inch of the chainmail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like have the knuckles and the blade going in the right direction, the right perspective. Follow the lines.
Yeah, this is, I don't want to say this is basic anatomy, but this is something you might take a shortcut in a background character or something. This is the lead character.
Yes.
And you jacked up that anatomy pretty good.
And I have to say, if I'm swinging a long sword and it's got a bend like that, there's something broken in the handle. It ain't good to swing.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it. Because at first you're like, oh, what's wrong? Everything looks like it's in the same position. But when you start following how the sword is, like its position and where it's being held, and then you look at this arm here, that is jacked. Almost as jacked as the sister here. All right, so she is holding out in front of her like this. So I think her right arm is okay. She has, to get this, she has dislocated her shoulder. That arm, look at how long that arm is. It doesn't make any sense. Am I wrong here with that back arm? It looks like it's going straight back, maybe.
That's how it looks. I mean, we can argue, with the perspective in regards to, okay, how does the human body actually work? And, that could be a good argument. But when you look at it, you don't, again, an illustration like this, there shouldn't be a question. You should never have to worry about interpreting, the position. Like, if you're throwing a fireball, you're gonna wind up like a pitcher, whatever you need to do, but you're not gonna throw it, between your legs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think on that one, I think we're nitpicking, and the reason I say that particularly is anybody that's ever watched a baseball game and they do like a slow motion or a still shot of the pitcher throwing, and you see like his elbow bent a specific way, you're like, God, that just doesn't look natural. And I get it. They all get Tommy John surgeries and stuff like that, but like, that's a still.
You think it's a nitpick?
I do. I think it's a still photo of her in action, and we would be saying the same thing about a baseball player throwing the ball.
Okay, fair enough.
We got one from Chris Miller.
I still think it's jacked, in my opinion, so we will agree to disagree.
I understand what Crazymouse is saying, but again, I just thought, you're really, the devil isn't in the detail. If you're going to show,
I think if there's a way he could have drawn it to be a little clearer, a tad clearer.
Twist the body so the right shoulder, the right side of becomes, is turned more toward you, so it doesn't look as if that arm is yanked out of its socket.
Yeah. Chris Miller, $2. Straight up looks AI generated. Yeah, in some areas it does, because you're seeing a couple of these weird things.
No, and what Crazymouse is saying, I understand what he's saying. I get it absolutely. If you see those slow motion of that action, but like when do we rarely see that without the slow motion?
Yeah, that The fighter is jacked. Yeah, the staff. Yeah, by the way, Chris Miller for another $2. Her staff is behind her sleeve.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good point for Crazymouse's demonstration. Yeah,
I mean, we would be like, how does his arm do it in that? There's no possible way. Every pitch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, but like I said, this is a flagship product. Might get picked apart a little bit. All right. This the spell. I guess I just don't like the overall color palette of this. What do you think, Rogan? It seems like really muddled.
It is muddled.
Like there's colors everywhere.
The light color of the underside of the dragon's body, and you got.
Yeah.
If you wanted to,
it's kind of like
offer a good contrast so you can pick it out, so you can see it and make it vivid for what it is. Then you really make it blue. But even like, how do you make it blue and stand out when it's in that in this composition? Because you got the underside of the dragon. That's that the cream color, whatever it is. It's if they made it red, for example, a good blazing red, and made the other one blue. Okay, I could see that a little bit better.
I think simplified would have been better. Yeah, maybe having like reddish tones. But it's like you got the two blues here kind of they're not canceling each other out, but they're kind of like at odds a little bit. Got pink here, gray here, red here. I understand it's supposedly depicting a realistic scene, but to me it's not visually pleasing to my eyes. It's just not. I don't like it. It looks muddled and like there's too much going on. As I said, when I look at this, it's like, okay, it's red and green, complementary colors. Green over here, it's all shades of red over here, or neutrals. To me, that works.
Remember in Dick Tracy, the movie, they only used like 5 primary colors and they were all the same shade?
Yeah, for like comic strip effect. Yeah, which I like. I like that simplicity. Now, they didn't have to do that here, but I think he had to control himself a little bit because this is just nuts. It's almost like he's trying to recreate almost like I don't want to say like a photorealistic, but kind of. And the palette is just, it's not like nauseating or anything, but it's just so disorganized and disjointed. I mean, it's all right. So let's get into what why everybody thinks that we're all mad. And I think I just showed you that there's plenty of reasons to not like this. I don't like this cover. I don't think it's very good. The story's bad. The colors are muddled. Some of the anatomy is jacked. It makes no sense. But we have 1, 2, 3 women for sure, and I guarantee you, I will. This is Wizards of the Coast. I guarantee you, they're going to say that's a woman. Right there. There are 4 women and 1 man on the primary cover. I mean, do we have to do this over again?
Wait, there's an alternate cover for men.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Could I get that other cover, please? Look, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I mean by looking at this video, it's you probably think it's more, but let's just be generous. 7 out of 10 D&D players are probably white men. 2.5 are white women, and I think 0.5 is everybody else. I guess by white, I'd probably be including like Hispanic too, which I think they are. They are considered white for like census and all that. So I guess that 0.5 is mainly like, Black, Asian, all that. Why do you have 2 black women? That's not your primary audience. It's really weird. Wizards of the Coast loves to fetishize black women. I mean, they're not the only ones. I mean, if you've ever watched a commercial nowadays, almost literally every other one, stars a black woman. We're not allowed to recognize that though, or say anything though. Just keep your mouth shut. It's not weird or anything that.
Looking at this picture, I'm forced to ask this question. Is this why they got rid of the drow, so they can allow people of color to be elves and not be called drow?
Yeah, maybe she's drow, says Carmine. Yeah, to your point. Maybe. But they released a piece of art a couple weeks ago, and it was like the female wizard. So if you were to go in the player's handbook and look at, they always have like a piece of splash art for each class. The wizard is a black female. This is just really odd. And I'm sorry if it ruffles feathers. I think this is dumb. I don't know why there's 4 women on here. I honestly don't. I mean, I do, but
it's the girls from Facts of Life.
And
where's the fat one?
And she's Tootie.
In regards to the dwarf, I want to hear. Let me show you this. I'll show Crazymouse this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a comic book that's been out for quite a while called The Rat Queens.
You want me to show it?
Yeah. That's been out for quite a while. I actually love the comic. It's about these 4 rowdy women, Dungeons and Dragons style. Now this dwarf ends up cutting her beard off later on for a particular reason, but that dwarf is a girl.
I guess that's a good way to do.
But that
bearded dwarf.
Did she have a mustache in the one, or you just showed us, or just the beard? Because this one has a mustache.
Just the beard.
So that one would be Natalie. And the one, the buff.
Which one is Tootie? We got 2 Tooties here.
Well, then I got Tootie is the magic user, and I got that one holding the sword would be Joe. Remember the biker chick?
Joe, yeah, and Nancy McKeon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Miller. Good point. I didn't even realize that, Chris. $2. Where's this fighter's other leg? Yeah, that's sort of lost. That's a mistake.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's maybe she's handicapped, and that's the audience that they're placating to right there.
We caught her on mid hop. She just hops around. It's another thing too. I like. All right, so as jacked up as this guy is,
as much as I can't stand our conversations about combat wheelchairs, because I can't stand them.
Yeah.
This is the case where there was a combat wheelchair, and she hopped out.
They pushed her up and said, "All right, honey,
all right, you got to get going.
You got to get out.
You got to earn your meal. Come on, do something."
Like this dude or this chick,
Nancy.
I think it's this is Nancy. Yeah, at least like they're loading up to fight this dragon. That makes sense to me, even though he didn't pull it off anatomically. This one, I think, is anatomically fine, at least the upper half, not the lower half, as far as we know. But it's almost like she's in mid-cut. It's like, what are you cutting at? That dragon is still like miles away. She should be loading up too. Or if you wanted to get someone in mid-cut, you needed to get the action closer.
Hi, Cal.
Hey, Cal. How you doing? Good to see you, buddy. It's the jacket. The wheelchair of Lum the Mad. Yeah.
So Blair would be the ginger.
Yeah, maybe it's like one of those episodes where I don't know, maybe she like tried to put on a
or
wig.
Mrs. Garrett.
Mrs. Garrett was redheaded, wasn't
ginger,
she?
Yeah.
She was. Yeah, and then you get this odd ginger here.
Mrs.
Garrett. Yeah.
Now hold it. She has a shield, right? And a staff?
Yeah. So what is she? That's an odd combination.
I mean, maybe it's the block stuff.
It looks like a magical staff, unless it's a continual light. Yeah.
Honey, if you have a shield like that and that armor, you better have yourself a sword.
Yep. Maybe? I don't know.
It's weird.
It's a little odd.
Ratlin staff.
Racelin's. Racelin was a character in Dragonlance. Yeah. Yep.
Rod of Smiting.
Yep. Rod of Lordly Might. Yeah, it could be. I always thought those were a little bit shorter, but yeah, it could be. Could be. Ooh,
You got
Jeff
one
Ram.
right there,
Go ahead. You
buddy.
want to grab that?
You can grab it.
Okay.
My arm's behind the thing.
Oh, yeah. No problem. Jeff Ram, good to see you here. $5 Canadian. Was not expecting anything of quality from Wizards of the Coast and still disappointed. How do you compare this to the 2E Player's Handbook covers, OG and revised? Like, I remember the skills and power vaguely. I don't have my 2E my 2E stuff.
Oh boy. Jeff Hatch could be Molly Ringwald.
Or Molly Ringwald.
She was on like the first season with.
Oh, was she?
She was. Yep, she was a Facts of Life girl because Marissa Tomei was a Cosby Show spinoff girl.
Oh, okay.
A Different World.
Yeah.
Was Marissa Tomei. Molly Ringwald was a Facts of Life girl.
Yep.
There you go. Mrs. Garrett is not in the house.
My
That's
man.
Molly Ringwald. Thank you, Jeff.
Bringing their early 80s sitcom knowledge. Thank you, by the way, Jeff.
The mouse knows his shit.
We got everybody. Everyone's accounted for. The dwarf, I guess, would be Mrs. Garrett then. No, that's Molly. Or Natalie.
Yeah.
They're all accounted for.
All I can say is, you take the good, you take the bad.
You're damn right.
Take it all. There you have. Did not think we'd be going to the Facts of Life here, but thank you, Mouse, for
Dragon
taking
Shadow,
us.
I agree with you.
This
absolutely.
Rogan, yep.
The knight's offhand wrist is slimmer than the hand and the rest of the arm. Yeah, I know. You talking about this? That might just be a play of the light. If we're talking about the knight. Yeah, that might just be shadowing.
Well, I have to. Then that knight right there, obviously, that hits the pool a lot, not the gym.
Yeah.
All right. It's got the swimmer. He has a swimmer's physique, and not the physique of a man who's made for armed combat.
Yeah, long and lean like Double D here. Yeah, I think that's okay. And like I said, normally I wouldn't pick something like this apart like this. If it hadn't been for like, oh, here, hey Chuds, here are your new iconics. Mrs. Garrett is the Golden Dragon.
Oh, of course.
Spiritually, yes, Jeff.
Yep,
yeah,
you're exactly right, Jeff.
Yeah, watching over them.
Now it is complete.
It is complete now.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. Yeah, so I'm
Who would
not
have
a fan.
thought at the beginning of the day when Double D was pulling this up, he's like, let's talk about this shit, artwork and the Facts of Life.
Like I said, I'm always pleased where stuff like this goes. It's
Now I guess I don't mind that it's a bunch of women.
yeah, well, it makes sense.
Now it does.
I'm not sure I want Facts of Life when I'm trying to slay.
What if this guy's like, God damn, someone out there got it. That was the Facts of Life girls.
It's all part of his elaborate ruse. All right, so we're gonna look honestly at some of the other art, and some of this other art, I actually
better live up to the billing. There better be different strokes in there. What you talking about, Willis?
Some of this I don't mind. All right, so this is a picture of. At first, you have to look close, but it's the D&D cartoon folks, which they are running into the ground after they were in the movie, and now they're kind of here. They're really going after those member berries. Again, it's okay. If I didn't realize how cynical Wizards of the Coast was, though, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of, honestly, it's thrown in there, and they're probably like, just throw something in there for the chuds.
Marcus, hit you up.
Thank you. Mercurius, $5 Australian. There's not enough 80s television references in art commentary. We aim to please, sir.
Yep.
We aim to please.
Tune in next week. Who knows what we're talking about then?
What you talking about, Willis?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is it's okay, but it's a little wonky, and I'm quite frankly, I'm a little bit over the cartoon. The cartoon was fine, but if you ever like watch the cartoon now, it's really cheesy. I mean, they had limitations on what they could do, so everything was just kind of cheesy and like not deadly. Jeff, new member, re-upping Jeff Hatch to the defender level. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, Jeff.
Much appreciated.
It must have been Tootie.
We got him. We know his secret weakness.
The roller skates.
Yeah. Yeah, poor Uni. So I don't hate this. It's just I just think it's cynical. That's all. But from a technical point of view, it's fine. It's fine. Ooh, Mercurius. He likes to dole out a membership every live stream, and it does not go unnoticed, sir. Thank you so much, Mercurius.
Well, snake oil's like Oprah.
Yeah, snake oil does the car giveaways, but yours is very,
awesome.
very
That's
valuable.
great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for thinking of us. Thank you for thinking of the members. Hopefully this Saturday, Mrs. D and I can do another Gloomhaven stream. Well, she said when she did the stream, she's like, I didn't want to come off too strong. She's like, I'll start asserting myself a little bit more. And I'm like, hey, you do whatever you want, Mrs. D.
Just get a little more comfortable behind the camera.
Yeah, she's in charge.
On the mic, yep. Meet, better late than never.
Yep.
I hate to tell you what you missed.
Yeah, you missed everything.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch.
The facts of life, baby.
We're past the cover, so we're just doing the other stuff here. No, I like this one. I don't know. It could be the same artist too. It kind of looks like his style. I like this. That is good art. That should be the cover of the player's handbook. Yeah. That is very simple. He's coming at you. There's men in kind of silhouette in the background.
They're firing at him, right?
Yep.
Those are arrows on the ground.
Simplicity is the essence of good design. This it's got things going on, but it is simple. You got your warrior up against awful odds, and he's just powering through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where's your eye drawn? Right to that cheek, right to that nose, right where it should be. Should be a cover.
Does that kick off anything? Like the player classes or anything like that?
I'm not sure. They didn't give details on where these were. So I guess you'll have to see, when the book comes out.
For $49.99, you can find right out.
That's right. I'm sure somebody will loan me their PDF though. I promise I will give it back because we do not do piracy here. But yeah, that's a great piece of art. Like it a lot. Missed opportunity. This not so much. It's nice to see an arena, kind of, but it's almost like they got ruins in the background. So why are there ruins in a?
Is this the fantasy version of Burning Man?
Yeah, they got the dragon to appear to kick things off, I guess.
There's a lot of things flying.
This does bring up a point. These new dragons, when you see them in full frame, I do not like that at all. They are way too chunky, way too fish-like, way too chunky.
Is that a furry? Next to the guy in the red. Is that a bunny rabbit?
Oh, right there.
Oh yeah, it's like Donnie Darko. That might be one of them rabbit people.
Oh heavens to Betsy!
This ain't your dad's. This ain't your dad's D&D.
My perspective from seeing the screen, I didn't get.
That's tricks.
Tricks. What's behind the rabbit?
Yes.
It is the rabbit.
Older, angrier brother kicks the rabbit.
Yeah, so not a fan of this piece. Yeah, I didn't even realize the furry there.
Goodness gracious!
It's like this there's problems here too because I understand they're probably trying to get the lighting correct, but everybody in the foreground is shadowed.
Yes.
It just makes for a confusing piece. This is one where your eyes sort of go right to that kind of midpoint there where the colonnades are. Like halfway down and to the left. That's sort of where your eyes go. And like, why do you want your eyes to go to a far away, portion of the arena where you can't even make anything out?
Yeah, you don't want your eyes drawn there. You want not drawn there. No, you want to sweep it to some direction. Or I think they're trying to frame something. Obviously, in the foreground, you got your characters that are shadowed more darker. But then after that, what do you have? You have the large blue, and then the lighter color in there that is not really defined. The only thing that has a little different than whatever that thing it's standing on is to the left hand there. All the little boxes of color there, the people in there. It's not.
Is the dragon like the blue dragon's? It is blue, right? Is the dragon blue?
It looks like it has a bluish hue, but that just could be shadowing from the sun.
But it's like it's competing with the background. It's like almost the same sort of tone as like the sky. It's an odd choice to kind of. That's why it looks muddled and you can't make anything out.
Someone said the lizard in the front looks like it wants to eat the baby. There's like a short guy with a lizard on his shoulder, like a parrot would be.
Oh, yeah, I see that, yeah. Yeah, a little odd. So I'm not quite a fan of this, but
someone's saying it's a silver dragon.
Oh, silver, okay.
Chris Miller said it's a silver dragon.
So maybe it's picking up, maybe it's supposed to pick up
the blue sky.
The blue sky, but there's other ways you can show a silver dragon that kind of shows off its magnificence. I think this is probably a missed opportunity. But if this is just a quarter page piece of art, it's fine for that. It's just I don't like it though. I don't like that dragon. I don't like where your eyes go.
Burning Man, no one is who they represent.
Let's kick off the festivities here. All right, so I guess these might be included, maybe. Not a huge fan of that tail. Some people may dig this.
I'm not a fan of its front paws or hands or whatever it is. I mean, very muscular arms into these wee little
teeny tiny arms. Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
It's got kitten hands.
Yeah, they're like real small hands.
They're not a great big fat alley cat paws. No, they're wee little kitten hands.
Meow.
Hey, dragon with little kitten hands.
Meow.
It's like that kitten stomping before going to try to jump on that on that countertop in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the head is okay. But boy, everything else, the head and the wings are okay, I guess.
Larry and Jack go, we don't know why these tails are so long.
Yep. Fish tail, fat neck, yeah. Yeah, that fish tail, that's, to me, that I don't like that.
Well, when this dragon gets killed and they start eating it, we know where the good meat is at. Right in that tail.
Yeah, there's going to be some good crab meat, down there. He's got that big bulge underneath his front left paw. What is that? There's like a big bulge there.
Well, that would be the wait, are you talking about that?
Yeah.
Well, that would be the belly, which would be the bacon.
It's chest. It's hell. We've had a handful of artists do some fantastic job. 3E, we saw dragons, detailed a whole lot better. What was it? Lockwood, right? Todd Lockwood did some fantastic stuff with dragons and the comparisons and anatomy and stuff like that. We already have that, so reinventing the wheel in this respect is stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Then I understand you want to. I don't know. I guess you want to put your own spin on it, but this is not.
Double D, is there another cover of the Player's Handbook that we missed?
The larger version of the PHP cover, the other dragon hand looks even worse. Oh, good Lord.
Is there
Yeah,
Uri,
I'm not
can
sure.
you be more clear? Is there another one that we didn't see?
Yeah, because we saw the back of it, right? We saw the back cover.
Yeah.
Which just looked like it did really look like the dragon that circles the world. I mean, it's preposterous. But I guess that's where they want you to focus all your time and energy on. Everybody else is just along for the ride, almost literally on the back cover. And you know it's going to do their dirty work for them on the front cover. Again, the dragon would just be like, guys, just get out of the way, please. This red dragon's like a snack for me. Oh, my Lord. That is even worse.
What the hell?
What is up with that fucking tail?
Is this from the movie Avatar?
Somebody said it looked like a Pixar movie in the chat.
Here we go. Uri is answering that.
Same article. There's a draft version along with a zoomed out version of the final art, all side by side. All right, maybe I'll scroll through that real quick when we're done here, just to see if I cleaned up and missed anything here. Woo! That is jacked. Why? Why is that tail like that? I mean, is it a water?
Maybe he's a good swimmer.
Guess. It seems to be the only reason if they made these like
so
aquatic dragons or something.
Maybe
Some
there's
brass or-
maybe in the new monster manual there's new dragon classes. Or like not dragon classes, but like, new dragons.
Yeah, new dragon. Yeah, like something tells me though this is probably just their base version of like a gold dragon.
This is like the old copper penny dragon.
Yeah, they're kitty paws again, Rogan.
Yeah,
kitty paws.
Those hands are those. I mean, it's not going to scale the side of no castle with those little paws.
Like you see the stretched out wings below, the two stretched out wings, and it looks fine.
Looks
but
like
that profile
looks
is,
like the phoenix.
Yeah, it does look like a phoenix rising up from the ashes. Especially that left one, and that's fine. I'll take that. But when you see it in profile, holy smokes!
If you're a dragon hunter, and you got some meat about you, some bones about you, what you want to get this dragon? Nail that tail down. That's a big ass thing to blast through some spears or whatever. That's a good thing to catch right there. That tail is just so massive.
Yeah, good catch, Thaden. Yeah, copper dragon. Yeah, this is the copper. You can see the patina on the wings. Not quite sure that's how that works, but we'll go with it. Aesthetically, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's just that tail is preposterous. It looks like a big dog fish, sort of. It really does almost look like a chimera, like it's a bunch of different animals, like just. Whew. All right, so I mentioned this earlier.
We saw this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like Storm.
Yes.
Yeah. And Rogan, you were saying here they're just borrowing from 70s, 80s, 90s, right?
Yeah.
Comics. Geekery. SD, good to see you, my friend. New member, Defender level. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, again, with the art, I got no real beef that I can see with the artwork here. Artistically, it's fine, but just again, it's this fetishization Wizards of the Coast has with black women. Guys, all right, so I understand we're not the center of the universe, but in America, African Americans, 13-14% of the population. It means black women are 6 or 7%. I don't understand why in a game they simply do not play. Okay, they do not play. If you find one, it's like a unicorn. Even at Gen Con, I mean, you'll see a couple of African American women, here or there, but good Lord, that's amongst 80,000 people. It just doesn't track. So it's like, why are you just? I don't understand it. If you want to do a little, representation, that's fine. Like if this was it. And then the cover was like a normal cover. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is great.
My
but
question
holy
is
shit.
this. Why couldn't this be, if it's going to be an African-American person, why couldn't it have been a dude?
Yeah. Well, if you saw that back cover, they like their black men very inoffensive. Like he's got his mouth way open. I'll show it again. When we comb through that article, but yeah, they like building up. These black women as just being complete badasses. It's like wish fulfillment. It's fetishization. It's odd. It's very, very odd. Now, this is fine, but this doesn't belong in a D&D book. I mean, you have the bisexual lighting there of the blue and the pink. Okay. It's a child. Are those like fairies or something? I don't know.
This looks like it should be in a children's storybook.
Yeah. And for that, it's fine. But when you're going through a D&D book, all I can say is that maybe they are training their new audience. Like this is the new look of D&D and you will like it. Okay. In that case, we're just sort of left out in the cold. That's fine. We've already left anyway. But just, I don't even know, even if you're a man who plays D&D, even if you have like zero self-respect. Oh boy.
You get a car. You get a car.
You get a car. You get a car. Snake Oil Sean gifted 10. Good Lord, man. I got some whales here. Thank you, Snake Oil Sean. 10 memberships. Good Lord, man.
There's a bunch of lucky motherfuckers out there.
Yep. Snake Oil Sean, he comes in strong.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in strong. That's for sure. It's the jacket.
Hey, it's the jacket.
I love the look of just total like defeat when he sees that dude walking by with the jacket.
The
Polish
maid's husband.
Husband. He's just, it's like somebody just killed his dog.
Yep.
Richie. We're talking about the
Sopranos.
Yeah. I'm sure some of you got that.
Richie Aprile.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a little weird. I feel a little slightly dirty because her dress is like, it's a little girl and her dress, even though she has bloomers on underneath, her dress is like up near her waist. So I don't think this belongs in D&D. Period. I tell that to my daughter all the time. My daughter makes, Travis, how you doing? Well, since my message was missed and all that greatness, did anyone see the mechanical arm?
As soon as he said it, then I saw it.
Yep.
What mechanical arm?
Right here.
Yeah, right there.
Unless it's just like a bracer or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in on it, Double D?
No, without screwing up the rest. I think, I can see it, yeah. Yeah.
3PO, that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Yep.
She's an amputee, Brother
Thank you,
Grognard. Yeah.
Travis.
So they always have to lean into this, like it's like diversity. Did the artist say, hey, I'm going to do this? And then like one of the cultural consultants say, hey, why don't we make her, disabled in some way? And he's probably like, well, okay, I guess, I want a paycheck. Maybe just going along to get along. Yeah, so I don't like this. I feel slightly dirty, and it's not D&D. And I don't care how many of you say
like
it
a
is.
Shirley Temple type of vibe to it.
Yeah,
like the old school movie.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but in a few years, there's like Lolita aspects to this that I don't even. I just don't. That's okay. Yeah, other than it being, I think, a tiefling, which they kind of overdo. That's okay.
It's diabolical.
Yeah, I like that. Don't love it, but I like it. Okay. This one, there's one thing I don't like. These landscapes. I like the city. I really do like the way it's kind of laid out. I don't understand why that front ship is there. This should be a solo ship sailing out to sea because you're supposed to see yourself, your party on that ship going somewhere.
Absolutely.
I don't understand what the other ship that's leading it is bringing to the party. I think it kind of.
Maybe they're going to war, and those are like the ships saying.
You could take it that way. I mean, I don't. There's nothing else in the picture that would indicate like that sort of, I guess, status or alert. to me, it's just like adventure, you know, like, hey, we're sailing out like you guys did, you know, in our D&D or, you know, our Castles and Crusades. Like, hey, we're sailing off to adventure. And it's a minor quibble because overall I do like this, but just get rid of that other ship. It's not needed. You don't need, or if you do want to put another ship in there, just have it in the background in the harbor. You know, like
Chris Miller's saying, look at their wakes. These ships are moving.
Yeah.
They're hauling ass.
Yeah, these things are.
Maybe they just looted this city.
Yeah, that could be. I guess that would explain the two then, yeah.
But this, you know, this isn't a bad painting. I would have to put, if I was going to put this in simpler in a book, it would be a smaller image off to the side underneath something to offer a little bit of flavor, because you don't want it to define anything. You want it to be a little bit of salt and pepper, you know, on the rest of the meal.
Yep. This would be the equivalent of that, like, kind of like real simple line art in the old books, where they just, you know, it's a picture of something, or, you know, a real simple landscape. They just, right now, they have to over design everything. Yeah, there are no people in the picture. That is correct.
Ooh, that's sinister.
It is a little sinister. But it's, let me tell you something, brother. Get used to that. There's no people here either. So this is just a landscape. I mean, I'm not sure what to do with this. It's not particularly D&D.
Looks early in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, it's pleasant enough.
It's lonely.
But it's sort of desolate, and I don't know what is it saying? Are you living here? Are you stopping here? I don't know.
Is this part of a thriving community? Is a mad hermit living here? Is this a few minutes before raiders come in and then destroy it? What is it? Let's give it a little bit of definition.
Kelsey's Don Quixote.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, lining up that windmill. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, from a technical perspective, of course, it's fine. But it's kind of it's a little bit soulless in some respects. As quote unquote pleasant as it is, there's no real heart to it. There's no soul to this. I defy you to find it. There's another windmill if you look far to the right there. Mm-hmm. So what is this? Is this like a wind farm? Is that where we're at? I don't.
Oh, Overkill got it. Holland
rice fields. Yeah, the Holland rice field. Yeah, Travis, rice fields and Chinese junk boats. Yeah, they guys. Anything's on the table. You know that, right? Again, just empty. It's an empty laboratory with a picture of a weird picture of a female tiefling, I think. No soul.
That's their version of that Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, the famous poster. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't like what's the point here? Is there something going on in the middle there? Is that a figure of some kind? I'm not sure. Rich S, $2. I've taken better screenshots in a video. Yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it, Rich? Right. Like a screenshot, like you're playing a game.
Dragon's Lair.
Yeah,
was
honestly,
that cartoon game at the?
Oh yeah. I think Dragon's Lair would have a little bit more oomph to it, almost a little bit more character. These are just like some pleasant AA modern video game. Oh, search around the lab, see if you can find the clues. You know, press X.
Overkill says Ginny D pinup.
Ginny D pinup. Tiefling Ginny D. Yeah. Oh, she did a video where she was out of her makeup, like in the first part, and then she put it on through. Damn. Look, I'm not gonna criticize her, but I mean, she does make her bones, you know, by being a quote unquote good looking D&D girl. Oof. I don't know if I would have done that if I was her. Chris Miller, $2. What's keeping those papers up on the wall? Yeah. Magic glue. I don't know. That's a good point. Maybe they're pinned up, like actual like nails of some kind. Again, just no real warmth to it. Doesn't tell anything. It's just a very cold piece of art. Rogan?
It is. I have the picture blown up on my tablet here so I can get a better perspective of it. And it is. It's sad. It's got the tiefling woman picture, and you got the sculpture that's
in the middle there.
You know, there she is in sculpture form. You know,
Yes, it's her.
What I see is this is the workshop of a very lonely stalker.
It's right. Yeah, I guess there. Okay, so I guess there is a bit of a story there. I mean, that's her. They did a figure. Okay, so I get that. So maybe a little bonus point for that. But still, like, there's no humanity to it.
No.
Like you said, is it just some weird stalker guy?
Right. There's nothing else. There's not a little detail in there that would say affection, or nothing that would say object of anger or hate. It's just. I mean, okay. The picture is up on the wall, so that certainly says something. It should say something.
Chris Miller says, zoom in on the center of the table edge.
All right. See if I can here without screwing up everything, Chris. One moment.
Dragon Shadow, that statue in the middle is a statue of the girl in the poster.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here, Chris? Zoom in on the center table edge.
Have a good night, Patty.
Have a good night, Patty.
See you, Patty. Thanks again for doing that.
Travis
alt
says he
logo
sees a cat in the corner.
Oh yeah. Wait, I mean, all this is fine.
Yep, I see a cat.
Yep. I mean, it's all fine. But I mean, is this like what are we trying to do here? Is this like one of those like, can you find like 50 things?
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
So, yeah, it's supposed to help your immersion into the game. You shouldn't be like, oh, look at there's
5 things you have to find. See if you can find them.
A human.
Hey, look, there's his duct tape. Oh, and zip ties too.
And a giant paperclip.
Chloroform.
Yeah, chloroform, duct tape. Yeah, zip ties. Yep.
Yeah, zip straps.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, just like I said, technically nothing wrong with it, but just there's a little story here, but it's a weird one. It's a very weird one. Again, an empty room. Now you can tell me all the cool things are in here. I'm not going to zoom in again, to be like, oh, Double D, look, there's ships there. It looks like a very finely appointed room.
Like a library almost.
Yeah, but to what end? What is this? Whose house is this?
There's a kitty cat again.
Oh God, is there really?
Yeah, right on the purple carpet there.
Oh yeah. Good Lord. Mercurius, enhance.
I see lots of couches, and I see a table off to the side there, and it looks like some footstools. So I'd like to say this is a library, but a library should have tables and chairs. I don't know.
Yeah, this is not
personal library.
It's not very. It's just not warm. It's not good. I don't like it.
The show these things lived in, like I understand like allowing the viewer to create their own story, but let's give them a little context.
Yeah. Just how about a person? Something living other than the cat. This freaking cat going everywhere. All right, let's $5. Oops, Snake Oil Sean. Thank you very much. Sean, thanks again for all those memberships too. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm guessing they get a sheet of character stickers to fill in the empty spaces. Yeah. Yeah?
Oh.
Yeah. Let's check that article again, see if your boy here missed anything. All right, so that's the here's the cover we looked at. Get a little bit more perspective here. Again, Is that coming in on the end? I don't know. Look, if you can't see it on the cover itself, you have to make it pop on the cover that everybody sees. Even insofar as not even like turn it, to the back. It's got to tell a story on the front cover.
It does say that those were kobolds. If you go back up,
kobolds got.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I believe it. I just kobolds to me were always like skinny little 4 hit point monsters. Those things look like
they pack a wallop.
Yeah. These guys are riding the back, real heroic. You got Superman here. There's the black dude with his mouth open in a very inoffensive. They love doing this to black guys. Oh, see, they're harmless. They're harmless.
Let's see if there's
it's a reverse fetishization.
Is there a robot arm in there? Just, image bingo here. What are we going to see? Let's find out.
What else do we got?
A cyber eye.
Yep. So yeah, I don't. I'm not sure. Just nobody pops other than maybe the guy with the axe, just because he has a mohawk and it's white. He kind of pops, but they put him in shadow. Again, where's when you look at a picture, your eye should go to something, and this is kind of like that Colosseum picture. Where's it going? It looks like it's going just right to the edge here, where these scales are, these bright scales.
I think, you know what? These new dragons must be so easy to ride. Look at that, because they're barely hanging on. Holy cow. I want one of those.
I'd be scared shitless.
Oh, man. Like,
Wouldn't
they
you?
should show it like, all right, this might be a good dragon, but you better frickin' hold on to your life here.
Couldn't pay me.
The Asian girls, she's, she's 14, couldn't give a shit.
She looks just disinterested.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to say, when Daenerys wrote a dragon, they made it look simple, and someone just said that. No one of consequence just said Game of Thrones made it look so easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And the person in green down there, like, you got. Is that a scroll they're holding on to? It's difficult for me to see. They're, the right hand is holding on to one of its scales or fins or something.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
But I'm like, must like, hey, if it, one hand and 2 feet, and I can, bring along a Pepsi to drink while I'm flying on this dragon. Hey, man, I want that dragon. I mean, the only person that's, dire that's giving you any emotion is the dude with the axe.
Yeah, he's got some attitude.
And the gentleman
Everybody else
behind
looks like they're on like it's an amusement park ride. He's going to war. These guys are like, they're thinking it. When you get off on those rides, like, oh, should I buy my picture?
Is he holding on to the guy with the mohawk?
I think
he is. Yeah,
he's holding on to his
his back straps.
This reminds me of Tropic Thunder, the Happy Jack. I saw
Simple Jack.
Simple
Jack.
Yeah.
I look at that, and that's what I see with that
with
guy
the mouth
back there,
open.
Simple
Yeah.
Jack.
Mama.
Got a hold of my buddy's tank top, and we're just going.
You mama make me happy. Art. Am I like not? It's like some of this art is not popping. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think I got everything. That's the clubhouse leader there. That should have been your cover.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's detailed, but it is just simple composition. It is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Great piece. Don't know why it's not on the cover.
Boom. I like this. I love right here. I freaking love that. Right. Look. I mean, like,
the evolution
and the build. Absolutely. It is a simple.
Yep.
It is simple.
Yep. Yeah.
And it starts out jumbled. There's obviously more to it, but
it's a mess.
Maybe that's the one the guy was talking about, where they show them side by side.
Yeah.
It's still the red dragon's down below. It's not a.
Is that a white beard in the left-handed side.
Yep, they didn't like a guy.
Yeah,
scratch that out.
I'm telling you,
Get Gandalf out of there and put it in the girl.
Yeah. And I mean, you may think that's a joke. I think that's exactly what happened. They have these cultural consultants, and I think he probably submitted that and said, "Ooh, you know what? We got to change that. That's got to be a sister."
On the first image on the left, the character to the left, you see him holding the staff on that black and white. Is he represented as a dude in that one right there?
Might be.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in on that or no?
No, I don't think. Oh wait, man, maybe it's probably as far. Which one, Rogan?
To the left there. It's behind the knight.
Oh yeah.
Right there, that one right there that has the staff, and in the full color picture we see that person it's the ginger now.
Yeah, it's
with
the ginger,
shield
yeah.
and the staff.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Huh.
I still think it's a boy in the second image.
I see on the second and third one they push the dwarf behind because obviously we don't know if he or she has a penis yet.
Chris Miller hit you up.
Oh, Chris, thank you. I like everything modern. It's a polished turd. Like everything modern, it's a polished turd. Yes, exactly, Chris.
That's a true story.
Yeah. Remember, guys, check out Baptism of Fire. Like I said, I'll be talking with Pundit, Ryan, and Venger on Sunday. Inappropriate characters. I'm sure we'll be talking about Baptism of Fire. Chris is the publisher, Pundit is the writer, and it is doing fantastic
doing
business.
gangbusters.
Yeah. So check that out. It is a smash hit, and I think Chris is probably breathing a sigh of relief on that one. Yeah, so I think that's all the art.
I want to jump in. I hope I hope everyone is enjoying our perspective and what Double D's pointing out there. I think I share Double D's perspective on this. That I do think that if you're introducing this new outlook on this game, that do it right. Make sure you don't have to have the best artist in the world, but just do it right. The devil's in the details.
That's right.
And the composition is it doesn't have to be complex, but holy cow, they have to muck things up. Holy moly,
It's muddled, yeah. I mean, amongst all the other things, it's very muddled. Like, can you picture even the 5th edition Player's Handbook? Because even though it was a little bit better, it kind of followed the same sort of kind of formula. Same style. It might have even been the same artist. It's just not very memorable. These are not memorable. Say what you want about that quote-unquote unrealistic art. It's memorable. This stuff, you will, if your life depended on it a couple years from now, you couldn't remember 3 things about it.
No.
Well, it wouldn't make your list that you just did. Something that we might remember is how much we didn't like it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you remember that gold dragon because it's just overbearing, and that's right where you go. And then you'd be like, yeah, there's a party, but if you might be able to say, like, yeah, didn't they put a bunch of black women in that party or something? Yes, all is right in the world with John. Thank you. Sometimes I do need to take Antonio. Hey, $2. Was that black guy's riding the axe guy? Yeah, he sort of was. Yeah, Crazymouse caught that. Yeah.
The white guy didn't look very happy.
No, that's why he was so cranky.
yeah. James guy, how you doing, James? Giving you the proper send off for the super chat. $5. Oh yeah, Baptism of Fire is amazing. I knew you'd be a tough critic on that. But I also know you'd be pretty anxious for it too. My question is, what class would you guys pick to play? Me?
The Bunny Man.
The Beaver Master. I would probably do the the Holy Warrior guy. Yeah, I'd have to pull it up, but I know there was like the proselytizing, like holy man,
Is there a witch
holy
hunter?
warrior. Definitely, that's up my alley in that setting. Be a fanatic.
A zealot.
Yours too, James. I think you'd be there side by side with me for as passionate as you are about Orthodox Christianity. You would be there right with me. Yeah, Holy Warrior's cool, says Chris Miller. Yep. Yeah, it's the one that kind of jumped out to me, for sure.
Matthew says, which book cover is better, the front or the back?
Yeah, I saw that. Boy, that's a real Sophie's
which
choice.
One? The one that actually made the cut, or the two other ones that they showed before?
Yeah, but
stop
my,
what you're doing.
Stop, collaborate, and listen. Howard's back with his brand new invention.
Damn.
Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a hawk daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights, and we'll show. His super chat for $50. You got me singing, Howard. I will only do that for you, amigo. For art classes. These are obviously masterpieces. Cheers, gents. I appreciate your time and insight. Howard, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You don't have to do that.
Thank you.
Your company
Much
is enough.
appreciated.
Yeah, it is much appreciated. And thank you so much. All of you guys, super chats, large and small.
They all go in the same jar.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Membership donations, large and small.
Yep.
It's really appreciated. I hope you liked my earnest critique of that art. Mercurius coming back in, $5 Australian. I don't know much about art, but I know what I hate. Yeah, I hate is probably too strong of a word. It's like asking what flavor of shit you like. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Mercurius. I hate the diversity, the forced diversity aspect, because that's the real cynical.
I think that's kind of the part that bothers me. Like, there were some things I thought we were nitpicking on, the arm or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, man, you're really shoving it down my throat.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't like it. Like,
it's cynical.
Yeah.
It's very cynical, and it's very purposeful. It does not happen in a vacuum.
the only thing I can think of is from their point of view, we know we got the white guys buying this stuff. We already know that. They're going to buy it no matter what. Throw some flavor to these black girls and, other things, and we can maybe get their money too.
Because that'll bring them in.
Yeah,
It won't.
I know that's probably their thinking.
Right, it won't
It doesn't work, but yeah, because they try
could
that.
Be their thought process.
They have a test case in comics. I mean, comics has done all this.
Yes.
I mean, with Riri Williams as the new Iron Man.
Oh.
Just did a complete disaster. Utter complete disaster.
Ironheart.
Yeah, Ironheart, yeah. Doesn't work, but like, you guys want to keep throwing money down a well. That's fine. Look, I don't know. The Elite DM, he's a brother who plays D&D, and he pointed out, like, look, it's not a huge thing in the black community, and he
there's
told you why.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. He's like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, it's just not our thing. It's with black men, it's considered unmanly. There's also Christian aspects that go way back, probably to the Satanic Panic. It just doesn't have a very good reputation in the black community. James, $10. Didn't Vanilla Ice promise that if we had any problems, he would solve them?
Ice.
Check out the hook, DJ. Yep, still waiting. Aren't we all, James? What a time to be alive, though. I know you were probably in your prime back then, as was Double D. Good time to be alive. I remember when that song dropped, and everybody was singing it, and we're like, "Who is this white guy, man?"
Robbie Van Winkle.
Robbie Van Winkle. This guy can rap. Sort of.
Jim Carrey parried him on In Living Color. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Didn't somebody do him on Saturday Night Live too?
That I don't know. I'm sure that they did, but I'm definitely thinking of the one where he was dancing with the Fly Girls as Vanilla Ice.
Okay. I probably had seen that at some point, but I
his
can't.
shoe goes flying.
See, I don't remember that. I'll have to go back and watch. I'll see if I can track it down after. I do remember the Saturday Night Live sketch, and I think it was somebody famous playing him. I mean, it couldn't have been like Kevin Costner, I think. Could it have been? I don't know. This is like obviously like 30 plus years ago, but my grandma bought me this jacket, says Meat.
Oh, the jacket.
Hey, it's the jacket. I sent Crazymouse that GIF.
The beginning of that scene Him and Tony have a beef. And then he busts out the jacket, and then it's like, it's all, that's why Tony's looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you doing? He never seems easy in it, He's like, okay, I guess I'll take the jacket. And obviously he doesn't give a, gives two fucks about it. Vanilla Ice solving our problems. He couldn't even figure out how to get, who was it, Suge Knight? Is Suge Knight the one that dangled him outside the window?
That is correct.
Yep, he had his own issues. Seems like a nice guy now, though. I don't know.
Isn't he great with home repair?
Yeah, he was doing that kind of stuff. Seems just like a regular dude now. All right, let's look at.
There you go.
Another James, man, coming in late and strong. Carrie mocked Snow, but Snow was actually a G and filmed the vid informer from jail for stabbing a guy. Okay, $10. Thank you, James. Carrie mocked Snow, but Snow was actually a G.
You remember that?
Snow was the informer.
Yeah.
Informer, blah, 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 blah. I like your boom, boom down.
Oh, that's what that's. Okay, yeah. At first I was like, yeah. I've heard that before, yeah.
There's certain cultural things like this that I'm a little off on. I was listening to punk rock and metal back then.
Yeah, I kind of, it's just age and the passing of years.
Snake Oil says it was Kevin Bacon.
Okay. Kevin Bacon, yeah. Is that who I said?
You said Kevin Costner.
Costner. I meant, you know what? Even though I said Kevin Costner, I'll sack up for myself. I was definitely thinking of Kevin Bacon. I was 100%. I just misspoke. So, yeah. So I'm glad I was right on that. Thank you, Snake Oil Sean.
Bacon, the Baconator.
Yeah, that's a pretty funny. He's like, yeah, I'm from the streets. That was like when it was like found out he was from like, I don't know, upper class or upper middle class community in Florida.
Howard says Crazymouse has to do a remake of The Informer.
And he could. He probably knows every word.
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No, I just remember. I remember Snow.
All right, let's look at something real quick here. You're gonna have to.
I like your boom boom down.
You're making me want to look up the lyrics.
Yeah,
from Snow Informer.
All right. Speaking of songs, now Crazymouse, I'm pretty sure you are not a Simpsons fan, right?
I've not seen very many Simpsons at all.
Yeah. So,
Gavin is a huge Simpsons.
Gavin
fan.
is. I used to be, but I'm of the mind that the Simpsons peaked about the year 2000, and it is the zombie Simpsons right now. So this was floating around Twitter. This is apparently off a new episode. See if you guys can control your cringe when you hear this song.
All right, hold it on tight.
All right, hold tight. We'll let it go all the way through. So you just we'll have to save our commentary to the end. Oh. Because I'm sure we'll have opinions on this too.
This is my home now. I can live a happy life here, free from the demon of generosity.
So this is all about tipping?
No, it's about the European mindset of not tipping. Here in Euroland, extra money, not change hand. Eat the lunch from 12 to 3, know how you say gratuity. Waiters, cabbies, escort girls, just cost base rate, what a world. Europe king, and here is why, only pay for what you buy. Flat price.
Sir, can't you see?
Let's look, can't you see?
Our health care is free, and they pay us enough.
That's money.
To just hand you your stuff.
In Europe, servers are paid a living wage instead of having to rely on tips, which also reduces income disparity between front and back of house staff. It's mad sexy, equitable!
15, 20, 22. Don't give us more math to do. In August when you rent a Vespa, tipping is verboten, Nespa.
We understanding time. Barista make from latte hearts. Don't tip them bicycle from the BART.
That's Bart.
The printed price is all that's due.
That's fair.
When you in little EU.
Ouch.
I don't
That's
even know
fucking
what the fuck
stupid.
to say that was.
That is so fucking stupid. Oh my God.
Was that a parody or is that like?
Well, I mean, obviously there was messaging in there. Oh, we don't pay our servers enough. First of all, if you ask a server to take a quote unquote flat rate or tips, unless they are brain dead, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I'll take tips.
Yes.
You can hide tips from the IRS. You make more money per hour with tips than
absolutely.
If you want to make money, be a fucking good server.
Yes.
Leave your attitude in the locker room. Seriously.
You can
you
can clean up if you're at a good place.
I was a bartender back in the day, and not counting where Gavin worked, like on my like at another place. We used to make so much money. And if you would have told me, like at the end of the night, it wouldn't be uncommon to come home with $250 a night
in tips.
And if you would have told me, oh no, we'll pay you $15 an hour instead, I would have said absolutely not. I'm making way more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these restaurants would not be able to afford to pay them what they probably make with tips.
Chris Miller, correct. Good servers can make hundreds of dollars a night. You are 1,000,000% correct.
Yep, and I know it's hard work, obviously. I mean, I
it
did
is
a
hard
little
work,
of that,
but I'll also say this. On the flip side of that, and I think, Chris knows what he's talking about. I respect his opinion. You're making that on the good nights. There's nights you're not. There's nights you only came home with $20 because there was no one there and you were first out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that. When I worked at Pizza Hut in the front of the house. I mean, there were times it's like, $10, and like you said, you're the first one to go, so you're like, why did I even come in? Back then, you're making, I think it was $2.25 an hour. Might still be, I don't know. But Chris Miller. I worked in restaurants for 15 years. Yep. Yeah, I worked at Pizza Hut for 7. I know Crazymouse has a ton of experience in the bar restaurant industry. You worked a little bit in the restaurant industry, right, Rogan?
Yeah, I washed a lot of dishes, peeled a lot of taters.
Yeah, so we're we all did this. It's kind of like a what's going on with like Wizards of the Coast. The Simpsons is just awful now, but they want to put this messaging in there. I mean, that part like income disparity. That was so cringy, so retarded. I think back at what this show used to be, and now just to have something so transparently obvious.
Well, in the past, anything like that was snark. It was parody, but that wasn't parody. That was an advertisement.
Yeah, that was messaging, as they say. Just like I said, just like putting a couple of sisters on the cover of your book. So you probably couldn't pay me enough to watch The Simpsons.
That was hugely disappointing.
Yeah, but oof, I didn't realize it had gotten that bad. I just kind of always, it's like Betty Davis in Baby Jane. Who's afraid of Baby Jane, or whatever happened to Baby Jane. I don't know if you ever saw that. But
Baby Jane was the girl who fell in the well, wasn't it? Who fell in the well?
Jessica.
Baby Jessica.
Jessica, yeah.
I am Baby Jessica. Remember they had that on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
You look like Baby Jessica. Yeah. I am Baby Jessica.
But it's almost like if you ever saw the movie Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, like at some point, Betty Davis, who was in her 80s, 70s or 80s, I think it was probably the 70s because it was the 60s, 1960s. But she comes out and does like a number, a musical number that she did when she was like a child actor in like the 1920s. And, even with like, like the frilly dress and all that. And it was meant to evoke like just, shame and like cringe. But it was on purpose because it served the story. That's kind of how I felt with this. Oof. Yeah, just awful. So one other thing I wanted us to see before we do some O&A real quick. This one will be really super duper quick. All right, so we all know what's happening at Columbia University, all the protests and all that stuff. This is from their graduation.
Joy Lynn Van Hassel. Bixia Chan.
What did her hat say?
I could never tell.
I'm an idiot. Her mom and dad must be so very proud.
Yeah, those are the people Joe Biden wants you to. He wants you to pay for their college loans with your tax money.
Did you hear about the graduation at Howard University for their nursing department, where they told the people that there was unlimited guests you could invite? Okay, the graduates.
Mhm.
So all these people came with a bunch of people. Well, they didn't have enough room for them all, so some of the people didn't get inside. So they started pounding on all the windows and broke all the windows and started screaming, "Let us in." So the lady at Howard University just canceled the rest of the graduation.
Yeah, they're doing that a lot now. Yeah, if there's a lot of these places just aren't putting up with it.
Yep.
So it's like if they think this Palestinian nonsense is going to like affect it, it's like, nah, you're canceled. And this is the class that graduated like the first year of COVID without like a true graduation.
Yes, because in fact,
my daughter's one of them.
Yeah, and so is my daughter. She graduated high school. She graduates high school in 2 weeks, and she just graduated. She's a COVID girl as well.
My daughter as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the girl said, I never got to walk my high school graduation because they canceled this. I don't get to walk my college graduation either.
And
it's not her fault that they did it, but as a group, we're not going to let
collectively.
Right. There's broken, like you guys just smashed all the windows.
Yeah. I want to say they should have thought better there. Unlimited guests for all-black university.
Let me tell you something.
Some of these guys have big families.
Right. Double D. It's funny you say that because KG's graduation is the day after the wedding, is the next day, and they were talking about that there's unlimited, guests for each graduate, and I said, well, I hear what you're saying, but that can't be right. It's being held at like a, 3,000 seat arena. Right? Warner.
Yeah.
And I just said, there's like 150 kids plus, faculty or whatever. And I said, I just don't see how at some point there has to be a limit of how many people you can tell to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or else KG is going to bring she's not, but 35 people, and then all of a sudden everybody brings, and now there's not enough seats.
Yep.
It's crazy.
My daughter's was unlimited, and they didn't absolutely pack the place, but it was hard to find some empty seats.
Yeah.
But there was no issues, thank goodness. But with a bunch of engineers graduating, I think there's no idiots out there protesting, from that group of graduates. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Thankfully, our universities are kind of small, so when they're even if the schools themselves might be liberal, you tend not to get this amount of stuff. Chris Miller, $5. Every one of these degenerates should have their diplomas taken away with no refunds, period.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at there, Chris. I like where your head's at. Yep. Whoops. Sorry.
You're going to stand up on stage and take that and rip it in half in front of everyone?
And as you said, Rogan, the parents must be so proud. Hey, Mom, Dad, you see what I did?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Howard, I wonder if she'll make enough money from the likes to get her diploma reprinted.
Well, they even do that. Hey, if I was in control of that, I'm like, nah, too late. No way.
These schools, you never know. They're so cowardly, the way some of them deal with these people. You never know.
All she has to say is I got lost when I was moving. They'd replace it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, if she just waits a couple years, waits till it until it dies down, then I don't know. It's kind of depressing.
It's really disappointing to see.
Faux show. Let's get that Double D logo up there. All right, guys.
Columbia. Not so smart.
Yeah, these Ivy League schools. I mean, it's gotten to the point. I mean, I'm down on college in general, but Ivy League, holy smokes! It's like you are sending your kid off for almost literal brainwashing. in some of these cases. You see all these before and after pictures on like Twitter, like these young men and women will pictures of themselves in high school, and then like 2 years at college, like at one of these universities, and their hair is every different color. I mean, they look like a different person. Like you can just almost read the anger coming off of them. So I would I would not allow my kids to go to an Ivy League school, even if they got I hate to say it, even if nowadays they got like a scholarship, I'd say no. I'll pay for you to go to a lesser, like a more local school, as long as it's.
Travis says it's a cult.
In some ways it is. I mean, look, we all know religion has gone down in the last, 20, 30 years, big time. Don't think it hasn't been replaced with stuff. It's replaced with this, worship of black women, this environmental nonsense where, every other week the world's ending, and it's replaced with a different kind of religion. And honestly, I like the Christian stuff better, even though it could be annoying at times too. So yeah, I'll take Christianity back in ascendance any day now over all this stuff. Yeah, civilization is a modern day Tower of Babel. Yeah.
Jeff Hatch says the trade school the world needs.
Yeah.
So
yes.
One of Mrs. Mouse's friends, they're from State College, Penn State, and their son is graduating from State College High School. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, he is openly not going to college. He's going to go. He got his license to drive heavy equipment, and he is not going to be going to college. He's going to get some other certification, and he already got a job making $44 an hour. So
that's awesome. That's
$44 an hour with and he took those classes while he was in high school, but he had to wait till he's 18, which he just turned, to get some other certification, which he just got, and he already has his job lined up. It's on the back of their graduation announcement for like his party. So he's already set for, I don't want to say for life, but he already has his career job.
Hey, well, it's
44 an hour.
I know how much
we're not making.
And then, think about what is overtime, right? Time and a half, 66.
Oh, absolutely. If you're on the road working construction someplace,
and he will be. So yeah, Chris Miller, truck drivers, plumbers, electricians, all make $100K.
Yeah, we need those people.
Young men, man, just skip college. You want to learn about things. I mean, they're just going to steer you wrong anyway in a lot of these schools.
You're going to pay $50,000 a year to go learn how to make $50,000 a year.
If that, you're going to end up they'll be baristas.
Yeah. Yep. And look, I love my daughter. In fact, in a couple hours here, she will be flying over across the pond to Europe. So
awesome. Good day, mate.
Good day, mate. She's going to London and Paris, then I think Venice, maybe.
Good for her.
Somewhere in Florence, maybe Florence. So yeah, so she doing all that. But yeah, I mean, she graduated with graphic design, which she definitely wanted art. She's a very artistic person, but I'm like, do we have a plan here, daughter D? Let's see if we can turn this into money. And she has a good head on her shoulders. I keep telling her, like, honey, T-shirts will never go out of style. And the good thing is she's a very good screen printer. She learned a ton about screen printing in her graphic design program. She's like, oh yeah, I'm already thinking of that. I'm like, honey, just make 3 good T-shirt designs, and then boom, you'll be off and running. EMTP, Fire 1, Fire 2, EMTP, $1,700. Yep. Thank you very much, James. $2. Thank you.
I absolutely love your daughter's art. I do. I think I really I enjoy seeing the things that she does.
I like her design. Her artwork is she's kind of into that sort of Cal Arts. It's not my personal favorite, but obviously it's my daughter's. I can see the good in anything, even the professional Cal Arts stuff. Look, I've always said the Cal Arts stuff that Wizards of the Coast use, it's fine in certain things. I just don't think it belongs in a D&D book. And I think even daughter D said that too. She's like, oh yeah, this style doesn't evoke that sort of imagery, so it shouldn't be anywhere near that. But thank you, Rogan. Yeah, she'll be okay. We are all blessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all have great daughters. Who are gonna do fine.
I got the 2 and the boy in the middle. That's what I got.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
You're steering them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Trying.
Yep. Double D's boy is getting married in a couple weeks. Oof.
Damn.
Yep. Feeling old. It's not just this mustache either.
Yeah, he was the little guy that would go around the table at bedtime and give us all a hug.
Yeah, we'd be playing D&D upstairs.
He
We
did
used to
not want to go upstairs.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
he did not.
I just like he'd go around and give us all a hug. Oh man, and now he's getting married. Wow.
I know. And from the way they're talking, it ain't going to be very long before Double D here is a grandfather.
Oh,
right.
They are. I think my future daughter-in-law, she is all about like let's get into the kid business right away.
Oh, he's got a good
God
head on his
willing.
shoulders.
They'll be.
does.
Yeah,
She's very nice.
Yeah, they'll be good. They are, all things considered. They're a little too liberal right now for my taste, but they're liberal with like a good head on their shoulders. So they understand what good parenting is and common sense. So yeah, they're going to do just fine in the world. So yeah, and we will embrace it. We will embrace it. Howard says
Speaking of
his is
paying-
28, 24, and 11. Wow. 11.
11. That's what that guy.
Damn.
Boy, there was 7 years in between me and my, closest brother. And my mom still says to this day, she's like, you were not an accident. We planned it.
Yeah.
28, 24, and 11. I got to say that 11 was probably a surprise.
Chris Miller says, speaking of paying the bills, buy my book.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Baptism of Fire, guys. Buy my book.
My oldest is 34.
What's that?
My oldest daughter is 34.
That's right. Yeah, you had a
And my
non-traditional child
Yeah.
When you were a little younger.
And then one that just graduated is 22, and then my twin boys will be 18 and junior.
Yeah, a lot of graduations going on.
Oh my goodness gracious! This is a very, very busy summer, and this is not even with vacations. Like it's just busy.
Yep. That's a good busy though. We will probably long for the days when we were this busy. I'm sure. When we are.
I don't know. For every weekend with me, every weekend it's another thing. It's another thing. It's a maybe I will miss it, but right now I just want to sleep in.
All right. I think we're just going to catch up on a little Otto and Roland right now. So those of you that are not here for that, we will let go of you and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
We love you.
And buy Chris Miller's book.
Yeah, Baptism of Fire. Check it out. I never say, buy it on sight unseen, but check it out. Check out the stream work. We kind of went through it a little bit.
A couple weeks ago.
A lot of love went into it. And like I said, Pundit is a pro, and he does a good job with his stuff. And Chris did a first-class job with the AI art and the layout. The book looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So check that out. All right. So we will see those of you that are sticking around on the other side. And to those of you that are taking off, we'll see you next Wednesday. So back for more fun then.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yep. Thanks, guys. And those of you that want to stick around, well, hi there.
Uh-oh.
How are you? It is time. All right.
Baptism of Fire is #1 indie RPG in the world.
Yes. Damn. Well earned, Chris. Great job. Yeah, Chris, like I said, Chris was he was confiding in me. He's like, boy, it would be nice if this was a hit. I'm like, I was thinking like, especially when I first saw it, I'm like, ooh, this is pretty good. Now, Pundit's earlier stuff it was good material, but it just kind of basic layout. And that wasn't even when he was going with Chris and Mad Scribe like before. It was just using kind of public domain art, which is fine, but a little stale at times. But say what you want about AI art, but if you don't have the budget to do that stuff, it really, really popped. And I know he massaged it a little bit. So, yeah. All right, guys. So we cut out early last week, I think. Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
We missed out. It cut off on YouTube right when we were going to the Temple of Set.
Yeah.
And then on Rumble, I went and watched it, and it cut off the part where that guard was just being a dick.
Well, he was just, I think that's where, I think a lot of you folks on YouTube saw that they were going to try to infiltrate the boys, the Temple of Set.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Temple of Set. It's up in the district of the Free City of Port Prospera. And they found out that they do human sacrifices once a month. It's supposedly willing. They reimburse the family or
50
whoever.
gold.
A lot, yeah. It's but a young woman is killed at the new moon of every month. So I think you guys, that piqued your curiosity also because this temple
is loaded.
And maybe these guys are finally starting to think this money we have ain't going to last forever. And it is probably starting to run down a little bit. So
Snake Oil, we did not keep playing after the feed cut out.
Yeah, we kind of stopped there. So I think what you guys missed was this uppity young priest came up and said, you guys want to join up, huh? And kind of we don't get too many off the street volunteers. And he said, fine. As they were going in, he kind of warned them and said, you know what? Your lives will never be the same after you enter. And commit yourself. He said, think long and hard, almost giving you a chance to back out now if you want. So I think that's sort of where we left off. So I don't know if you've given it any thought during the week. Do you?
Well, Rogan and I had a brief conversation, and we just talked about, I think that we did want to do this. We wanted to infiltrate the Temple of Set.
Bueno. All right. Hey, Crazymouse, can you do me a favor? Up on that shelf is that yellow box of markers. Do you see on the bookshelf? Do you see a yellow? No. I'm sorry, that bookshelf over there. Yeah, the black one. Right on top, yellow. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I have the yellow? Oh, I think I changed those out. Yeah, it used to be yellow. To my sorry, poor Crazymouse. He goes around everybody's trying to gaslight Crazymouse in his real life.
Everyone makes it seem like I'm the one that's going crazy.
Yeah. To be fair, I will stand up for myself here. Up until a week ago, when I did some shuffling around, that was yellow. So I didn't want it to pop as
because
much.
Behind me is some yellow boxes.
Yeah, so it is blue now. Sorry about that. All right, so.
That was a glimpse into my house.
Yeah. The gaslight. All right. So you go into there's this. I guess it would help if I put the camera on. A little here. All right, so I'll do this in kind of miniature. Here's the outer wall. Okay, here's the gate, that you guys are kind of going through. Then there's this giant tower, which you've seen in the graphic. All right. There's a nice path here, and there's bushes that kind of go around.
Good night, Nick.
See you, Nick.
Whoa, he's going to miss the next couple. He'll be in Japan.
Japan?
Yeah.
Safe travels,
yep,
Nick.
Absolutely, safe travels.
Yeah. Catch us on the replay there if you're bored at night. But other than that, We'll see you whenever you are back. Like I said,
safe travels.
Safe travels, buddy. All right, so this is probably even bigger than.
Mead says he's turning Japanese.
I really think so. I really, really think so.
I'm turning Japanese.
So this is grass, okay, and bushes, and there are penitents and priests, in those robes, the white, the black, and the red, just going to and fro. So this priest that you are talking to now, you've said yes, and he says, very well, step forward. Now remember, this is the underboss here, Zethrak. You saw him carrying out the ceremony. You don't see him, but you do see some, important looking people. This guy takes you to the door. And by the way, he introduces himself. Zoran. Zoran. He's call him the priest liaison for the boys. He says, follow me. You go into the temple, okay? And this is a huge tower. It's a massive tower. Oops. All right, so when you walk in, there's like a 20-foot by 30-foot entryway. And in front of you is another pair of double doors and then a hallway, like an inner ring hallway, if you can picture that. You
It's
can
like
only
the Pentagon.
Yeah. Both sides kind of disappear. But this door is open briefly.
Howard Hughes is some questions. Because there's the top 3 people you've said all start their name with Z. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, just 2. Zethrak is the high priest. That's Clancy Brown here. This guy's
He's second in command.
Yeah. This guy's just an under priest. You don't get the sense that he's hugely important.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that the highest priest's name starts with a Z.
No, if he...
V?
Yeah.
Balrog?
Yes.
Okay.
Zerok. Actually, X, pronounced with a Z. Zerok the Undying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they all sound like they start with a Z.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, maybe this is a thing.
Howard was trying to be clear on the names here.
Hopefully this guy won't be too important, but who knows? We'll see, I guess. So this priest is leading you, and you get a glimpse into this interior room.
There's another Z for you.
They're my cousins. You look inside here, and what you see, ever so briefly towards the back, is a giant statue of a snake back here. An altar in front of it. A hole in the floor. Okay, now keep in mind it may seem small here. These chambers this central chamber is massive. Okay. It looks very impressive. It seemed like there's something important here, from everything you could tell. It had that bearing. But they quickly closed the doors as somebody left. He takes you around here. And you're watching doors go by, along I guess it would be the outer wall here, if you can see. You can only guess what's inside of them. But at about halfway, and there's more here. I'm just doing a couple here, so please don't hold me to this. But you pass by, we'll say, at least a half a dozen doors, and then you get to one. And he knocks and then opens it. You see a fat man in there. His name's Zeppo. No, just kidding. Just kidding. This Zoran says, we have two volunteers, two penitents who wish to be blessed by Set. Oh, he says. This is like a balding big man, probably in his late 30s, early 40s, muscles, but a lot of fat on him too. So he's like, well, send him on in. This Zoran almost kind of ever so gently kind of pushes you in and then leaves and goes back, out towards the entryway. So you are now standing in a room, which is probably about 30 feet deep, but maybe like 80 feet wide. I'll draw it here. So here's the door. It smells awful. And then you look at the ground, and it is crawling with snakes. He says, we get a lot of people here who think they should be blessed enough to join the faith of Set. We'll pick one up. Your fate depends on it.
All different sizes?
Mm-hmm. All different colors, all different sizes. You maybe have seen a few snakes back home, but you're seeing stuff you just have never had experience with. Snake ocean. Why did it have to be snakes?
Say a little rhyme inside my head. Red and yellow, kill a fellow. Red and yellow, kill a fellow.
My brother-in-law, like a snake, they live in Florida, and one of those snakes got into their home.
Oh.
But it was like he was trying to do the rhyme because it was either that snake or the pretender one that's harmless. Yeah. He's like, yeah, red and fellow. So he ended up just like cornering it and then cutting its head off with a pair of scissors. He's like, I just wanted to be safe. So,
would there be any way that we would even know how to pick up a snake properly?
I would probably guess not. You wouldn't have had much contact with them. Maybe you've seen people handle them, occasionally coming through. He's like got his arms folded on his chest and he's snickering. Like he almost wants to see what you guys do. So what I will need from you, if you're going to do this, or if you're just going to run out screaming, let me know. But I'll need you to make a dexterity check to see how you handle and pick up the snake that you do pick up. Don't be bashful.
Is that just on our...
Yeah, it's your dexterity score. You're going to roll a die 20, and you're going to hope to roll under it. So you should have a fairly high dexterity, right? What is your dexterity there?
14.
14, yeah. Yeah, so you're going to want a 14 or under on a die 20.
17.
Ouch.
I have an 11, which is under 12.
All right. So you managed to grab a snake, maybe perfectly right by the neck, right by the head, before it can bite. He nods and says, well done. You, however, you get nipped.
Okay.
Otto. Now, is this snake poisonous? I don't know. Oh boy. It is poisonous.
Okay.
So roll a die 6 for me, and then a die 4.
1 on the die 6, 4 on the die 4.
5 points of damage. Okay. And you are feeling already weak. The guy's not offering to help you. Okay? He's just got his arms folded. So now what I need you to do is make a constitution check. Okay. But you got to do it under a penalty of 2. So I guess you would be adding 2 to this roll.
Well, I rolled a 4, so that's a 6. My cons is 14.
Okay. Well done. You are poisoned slightly by a snake, which is not the most venomous, but does pack a wallop. Your arm is burning. You know, it got you right on the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you are definitely weakened. But he's just kind of watching you and says, you're smart and he's tough. I like that. He comes over and puts a meaty paw on your shoulder and says, you might just make it here. He's like, but for now, I think we may have other services you can perform. He yells out the door, and you hear him say, I think they passed.
Good night, D-Dan.
Yep, good night. Teppanyaki. There you go. That priest comes back, that Zoran, the kind of low priest. He looks, and he almost, immediately sees that you're favoring, maybe a little bit that hand, and it's kind of like falling limp. He's like, well, it's going to make washing those dishes a little bit harder, but we expect you to do it. Follow me. You go at some point, and it's auto for you. It's starting to get a little fuzzy. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you're just kind of maybe following your lead, kind of relying on you. At one point, you go down a set of steps down into the ground. And a couple of twists and turns later, not too far, you hear hustle and bustle. And it appears to be a kitchen. And Zoran again kind of pushes you in and says, well, you can't expect to be Xerox's right-hand man just yet, can you? As he chuckles. You got to earn your keep. He'll put you to use. And you see a tall, thin man turning around. It's like fodder for the kitchens. Says this tall, skinny man who's dressed in one of those robes, but it's kind of like cinched. It doesn't look at all like exotic or anything. It's got like a lot of stains on it. And he says, well, you can start by cutting up that meat over there, and you can start by, washing out those cups.
I will take my hand that got bit. I'll bring it to my mouth and try to suck out the poison and spit it out.
All right.
I've seen that in the movies.
I like it. Just roll a die 3, so a die 6 cut into thirds.
I rolled a 4, so the middle one, 2.
So 2. All right. It's still stinging, but we'll say maybe you do that and even goose it up a little bit with a little knife action. Maybe poke it and then really start to suck it out, and you get 2 points back.
And I will just spit that into the
the
dirty,
stew.
the dirt. I'm not in the kitchen. I'm in the dish room.
Yeah.
Into the the dirty water sink.
Now you're seeing. Go ahead, Rogan. Roland.
At this point right here, I was going to try to keep track of how many people we walked by, from beginning to where we're at right now. But if there had to be a swift exit.
Couple of people in the hallways upstairs, going around that wide interior corridor that rimmed the interior of the building. You saw, like I said, a couple of people leave that central inner chamber, which really there's a huge statue of a snake in that central chamber.
Right.
That caught your attention right away before the doors were closed. Other than that, you just saw a couple of people upstairs passing you, and they did the old, where they nodded at Zoran, the priest that's leading you. And then downstairs, when you just took a couple of turns, it obviously doesn't, the downstairs here doesn't follow like the circular layout from what you can see, because you're below ground. But you do notice there is like a ventilation like hole at some point, for the cooking that's done down here. There's probably about 10 people in the kitchen helping you out, and they're immediately saying like, do this, do that. A couple of ladies, younger girls, I would even say, around your age. You guys aren't really too old, right?
No,
your
is
characters,
correct.
yeah. One, Otto, kind of maybe takes pity on you, and says, "Did you get bit?"
I said I did. One nipped me. I picked it up wrong. I blame it on myself.
She's like, "Oh, you must be careful. But Set has looked kindly upon you. You must be strong."
It's funny. That's what they said upstairs as well.
She kind of bats her eyes. She's like, "I just started here a while ago. My family, they gave me to the temple. I am most honored." Over with you, Roland. The big skinny, the skinny tall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's working you like hard, like, no, cut that meat like this, boy. Cut it like this. Are you too dumb?
It's all right. Okay. All right.
So you're just kind of like, chopping things up. There's a dude across from you cutting up. They must make a huge like stew, because there's a gigantic stew pot here. Before you ask, it's not human meat. It's regular meat.
Right.
It's some sort of animal meat. But if you had to guess, when you're looking, they do have a couple of snakes, like deboned or whatever, like hanging there.
Filleted.
Yeah, filleted. So they must use snakes, oddly enough, The guy across from you, Roland, just kind of keeps eyeing you, almost a little suspiciously, as he's chopping up. He's definitely done this before, so he's got a pretty quick cleaver hand.
I'll certainly listen to what the guy's barking at me, and I will watch how he's, how he's cutting the meat, and I'll do my best to emulate that. And yeah, I've been under the thumb. I'm not cerebral. I've been barked at and told how to soldier and stuff like that. So I'm.
Yep. All right. Well, it goes on like this for a little while, and then he says, like, "All right, time to move the stew. Looks like it's ready." This is after the meat's been boiled and all that. So they give you, carrying sticks to kind of slide through this gigantic cauldron.
Is that important, Double D?
What's that?
Something just popped up on our screen.
Norton. Yeah.
Oh no,
a virus threat.
Yeah, it always does that.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, but yeah, got the old Norton alert.
It's back.
My God, blocking threats left and right.
Nightbot.
And it's Nightbot's revenge. So they're like, you, and you guys are chosen. There's like 4 of you that have to move this massive, cauldron of stew. It has
crown
like
for king.
It has vegetables in it. It looks, if not savory, edible. They didn't put much in the way of flavor, maybe just like some salt in it. And they're like, down this way. You've literally just been thrown. You were outside a couple hours, an hour or so ago or whatever, and now you're inside. You're being worked in the kitchens. He's fending off a snake bite. But so you're just, it's kind of a whirlwind. So the 2 guys, including the one guy in the lead, is the guy you were working with, Roland, and then just kind of another no-name guy up front, and then you two in the back. So I imagine you two are probably like looking at each other like, holy shit. This thing is heavy, of course. But they seem to be taking it through a giant hallway, not too far away, and then turning in. And you can hear, when you come in, like a lot of activity. Okay, in this, you open it up, there's braziers lit, tables, chairs, cushions everywhere, and a spot, where they take it to and set it down. This is apparently the cafeteria here. You see plenty of those red, white, and black cloaked people that maybe you thought you'd pass in the hallway, upstairs. They're having one of their meals down here. At the far end, you see Zethrak.
What an intimidating looking guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not even the lead guy. He, of course, pays no mind to you, He's talking with a couple of people, and, as you guys are just kind of setting it down, one of the under priests, not even the one that was handling you at first, just says, well, you can go back now. And the two guys that helped you carry it in, they just kind of immediately head to the door of this room and then back down the hallway to the kitchens.
At a quick glance, I'm sure I don't have time to count, but if I could spitball, is it
probably about 60. All right, at least 60 people.
It's a big cafeteria.
Travis Fubber. It's a cookbook. I already said it's not human. It's not a human sacrifice. I'm not saying that, obviously they know they do that, but they don't, from what they've seen, they don't eat people. All kinds of meats in this stew. But yeah, you kind of just had to we're kind of almost pushed out the door. When you get back, that tall, skinny guy says, all right, well, I've saved the cook's portion. There's a smaller bowl over there. Suppose you've done a little hard work, even you two newcomers. Go ahead, get yourself something to eat, something to drink. So the girl kind of gravitates towards you, Otto. Cassia is her name.
Okay.
Girl in the kitchens. If I had to describe her, she's cute, not beautiful. She got, I guess, almost has a wholesome look to her face, almost like she doesn't belong here. The guy comes over, to you, Roland, the one that you were cutting meat with. His name is Jorvik. He's new to the temple? New to the order?
Yes.
Good. It's Set can always use more manpower. Can always use more eyes, more fangs. He kind of smiles. He gives you a kind of a creepy vibe. He's like, I haven't been here too long either. This is where they start everybody. He's like, but I've already been talking to the priests. Pretty soon, I can start my journey. One day, I'll be accompanying that beautiful new moon procession. Won't it be glorious?
Reminds me of Coming to America with Louis Anderson at McDowell's. Next week I'll be on fries.
So
he's a true believer. It seems like, he's just kind of talking your ear off a little bit about.
I'll give him my my undivided attention. I'm just right in the eyes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's inside my brain, I'm freaking out a little bit.
Yeah. This is great, man. I love this.
Yeah.
The girl, Cassia, I think she's told you, like, her family sold her.
Yep.
So apparently there's other transactions you can do, with the temple too. They will buy help. She says to you, Otto, like, things will get better. First days are always rough. She's like, I cried my eyes out the first couple days. Then I realized it was Set's will. Almost like she's talking herself into that. It's got to be Set's will, right?
It might be. It's something to get used to, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, I just can't wait to be a part of something bigger. She says, in close confidence to you, Otto, though, she's like, though some of the sounds I hear at night, I must confess it took a while to get used to.
So tonight I'm in for a long night, you say?
Well, she's like, just take the kind words of young Cassia here. Just pretend you don't hear it.
I mean, we're going to be sleeping in our own beds, right? We just come back for our shift tomorrow.
Like, oh no, like they expect you to stay here. She's like, you can't leave.
Oh, I already knew that, but I'm
playing
coy.
She's like, oh, don't worry, you'll get used to it. You get used to things here real quick. All right, why don't we stop it here? Good place to stop. You are now fully employees at the Temple of Set, whether you liked it or not. All right.
I just wanted to try it out. I wasn't ready to commit.
I told you.
Dang.
I told you. Zoran was trying to tell you. Don't.
I thought this was our day to shadow.
I thought this was take your kid to work day. All righty. Well, thank you guys for sticking around. All of you. Let's see. Sue 62 stuck around tonight.
All you divers out there.
So, what do you think of these boys? They're now in the belly of the beast. So close to that treasure, but so far away.
Cassia, where is all those treasure?
They don't tell you that on day one. I will say the one thing that probably made the biggest impression on you as you were going through when that door was open, that giant central chamber, where there was a huge hole in the floor, and then the huge statue of a snake. So that certainly piqued your curiosity. Everything else was just kind of dark and dreary in this accursed place. All right, clean up some of these chats. Thanks. All Falsa Doom is played. That's right, Cal. Thank you, sir. Cal, I'm thinking of having you on within the next month, just to check in with us, chit chat. So you guys remind me of that. We'll have Cal on.
Absolutely.
That'll be great.
Yep. Talk to our beloved moderator. He's like the Maytag repairman. Let's be fair here. Not a lot of he doesn't get a lot of malfeasance in this chat. Good show. Thank you so much, Travis. Good to see you. Surly, good to see you. Thanks for staying. Meat, always a pleasure. Snake-O Sean, thanks again, buddy, for your largesse.
Thank you, Howard.
Yep. Overkill Joe, another loyal member of the Army. One of us. That's right.
Cal says he's getting scared to come on the show now.
Don't be.
We don't bite.
We're pussycats. Zophalic.
We're like
thank
those
you.
Dragons. With tiny hands.
Yeah, we got tiny little paws. Giant community bed. Yep. I think that might have cleaned up. Howard, of course. Yes, Howard. Thank you so much, buddy. Again, you're always very kind. Don't ever feel like you have to come here and throw around the money like you do, but it's always appreciated.
Making it rain.
Making it rain. Yep. Rogan Gosh. Thank you, Rogan Gosh. Oh my God. There you are. Look at your 2-time in the chat.
All you on your downtime, go watch an episode of Facts of Life.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take it all. There you have the Facts of Life. Facts of Life. All right, guys. That's it. I know Crazymouse is probably going to go grab something to eat. I may or may not. I may flip a coin.
I went to Federal Hill today, so I bought all that pulled pork. And I took it home.
See, that would fill me up for the whole day.
Yeah. Oh, I just had 2 sandwiches. That's it. And they're just on these little buns. So I just bought, for Mrs. Mouse and Derek, and KG probably went out with her friends. And when I left, Sophia was sound asleep. So,
yep. Sounds good. Yeah, we have a first-class barbecue joint in our place up in northern Pennsylvania to get like a really, really good barbecue place. We are blessed. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot for sticking around. I think we had on YouTube at least 120. It's at one point.
Yeah, me and Panther got to get together and figure out how to carry the one with this Rumble now too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't see how many were there, but yeah, pretty good for early days of Rumble. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Double D, I have to say this. I like the mustache. It's growing on me. I like it.
I look very cultured, do I not?
Yes, you do. Was that called a Boston Blackie?
Is that what it is? A Boston Blackie?
On the lip. Boston Blackie.
I just know Vince McMahon had one of these in real life, and somebody joked like he looks like a crooked art dealer from the 1920s. So I just laughed my ass off when I saw that. Yeah, a couple months back, Vince McMahon was rocking one of these.
Is that costume or did you grow that?
That's costume.
All right, I was gonna say there's no way Mrs. Double D is gonna put up with that for the wedding.
Mrs. Double D was in on this.
For the wedding.
I'm like, yeah, for the wedding. Yeah. I said, I need a mustache, Mrs. D. She's like, I got you. I got you. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll send you out with something here.
Ow. Good night, everybody.
Yep. Take care. Love you all. And good night. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.
Back when I was a kid, life was going swell. Till something happened. Blew everything to hell. That night my daddy stumbled in, all pale and weak. Said a woman up the block just gave birth to a geek. Mom said, sell it to the circus. What the heck? Dad said, nope, this one's a pencil neck. And if there's one thing lower than a sideshow freak, it's a gritty, scum-sucking, pencil-neck geek. You see, if you take a pencil that won't hold lead, looks like a pipe cleaner attached to a head, add a buggy-whip body with a brain that leaks, you got yourself a grit-eating, pencil-neck geek. Pencil-neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut, losing streak. Nothing but a pencil-neck geek. Pencil-neck geek. Soon the geeks were popping up all over town. You couldn't hardly sneeze without knocking one down. After a nice juicy steak, if you need a toothpick, just reach for a geek. They'll do the trick. One day we cut one up for fish bait. Learned our lesson just a little bit late. Soon as the geek hit the drink, the water turned red. Next day, sure enough, all the fish were dead. Pencil-neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut, losing streak. Nothing but a pencil-neck geek. Most any night, you know where I can be found. Yeah, stomping some geeks head into the ground. So keep the faith, cause in Blassie you can trust. I won't give up till the last geek bites the dust. Pencil-neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking pea-head with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-gut, losing streak. nothing but a pencil neck geek. They say these geeks come a dime a dozen. I'm looking for the guy who's supplying the dimes. It's gonna be real hard times for all of these grit-eating, scum-sucking, boot-licking, drop-kicking, gut-grinding, nail-biting, glue-sniffing, scab-picking, butt-scratching, egg-hatching, sleazy, smelly, pepper-bellied, dirty, lousy, rotten, stinking freaks. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. Pencil neck geek.